Get on the comments. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum, Maryam.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And assalamu alaikum to the rest of you. I want to start by making a few announcements. The first of them is that you will notice that there is an address at the bottom of the screen that's always going to stay there. That is for all the study materials. So those of you that ask questions about that, now you have the permanent answer to that. So that's all that's going to stay there, because some of you catch on later on, or you got it wrong. So I'm just going to keep that at the bottom for a while. The other announcement that I'd like to make is for those of you that are studying this course with us and they have kids with them. So if you do have kids with them, I'd like you to send me a picture or a video of you guys studying together. And even if you can recite something for me, like bata kaf lam waw min fi an ala hatta ila and inna annaka anna layta lakin la'alla, and tell me your names, I would appreciate it, because I'd like to give some of you shout outs during the class too, because I've been teaching the internet and you guys got weird screen names like doctor. So or jigsaw. There's a jigsaw taking the class. So wow. So I'd like to see what how human jigsaw is in reality. So you guys can send me that, because I do want to kind of get a sense of who's out there, right? Are these Russian bots, or is it actually people that are learning Arabic with us? So I asked you to do your homework, which yesterday was pretty simple. All you had to do was review what I asked you to memorize. They were the group of harf called the harf of jar, and another group of harf called the harf of nasr. Maryam, would you like to kick things off?
Okay. Bata, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
And those would be the harf of... Good. What would be the harf of nasr?
Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi, anna, layta, lakinna, la'alla.
Brilliant.
Bata, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
Okay.
Inna, ka'anna, bi, anna. Inna, anna, ka'anna. Lakinna, la'alla. Bi, anna.
Start over. Relax.
Bata, kaf, lam, waw, min.
No. You got the harf jar. I need the harf nasb.
Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi, anna. Layta, lakinna, la'alla.
Brilliant. You got it. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so that's a big thing. You guys having memorized that makes my job a lot easier, because now I get to build on that for you and really help you understand what's going on. When we started early on, I told you that something like, this is where I want to start today, building on what we did yesterday, and then we'll take some notes. You said Muslimun is an ending sound.
Yes.
And Muslimani is a combination, two Muslims. That's two rafa, right? Muslimaini, in the beginning I told you it's two nasab or two jar, right?
Yeah.
Right? But now what I can say is, if I said inna, right?
Yeah.
And then I said al-muslimaini, right? Now, here in the top line, it's aini, which means two nasab or jar, right? And here it's again aini, which you learn to say is two nasab or jar. Yeah. But now you don't have to say, or you're not allowed to say two nasab or jar. You have to pick one of them. Yeah. You have to pick one of them. Which one are you going to pick in this case?
Jar.
No,
nasab.
Nasab.
Oh, nasab?
Yes. You know why? Because inna, the one you memorized, is from the harf of...
nasab.
If it's from the harf of nasab, and then the next word, I don't know if it's nasab or jar, it's definitely nasab. Yeah. If the word before was a harf of jar, and let's say if I said fil muslimaini, fi al muslimaini, the aini is still aini, because that works for two nasab or two jar, but this time the answer would be two jar for sure. Yeah. Why? Because there's a harf of jar before it. So when we started off, we said something could be nasab and could be jar. Yeah. Now we're getting a little better at that, and we can be more accurate. We know when it's nasab and we know when it's jar. Same thing if I say, for example, Baytu Muslimaini. Muslimaini, right? Baytu is light and doesn't have al.
So it's jar?
Well, no. You're forgetting the other lesson.
Oh.
When a word is light and doesn't have al,
It is a mudaf.
right. And the only way you can prove that is if you find a mudaf ilayh. Is the next word possibly jar?
Yeah.
Yeah, aini could be nasab or
Jar.
jar. Well, in this case, because you have a mudaf and you have a mudaf ilayh, that's why you don't say nasab or jar anymore. You have to say jar.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two kinds of jar. Jar because there was a mudaf and it became a mudaf ilayh,
Yeah.
or jar because it was a harf of jar, like that, because of b, the harf of jar. So there's two kinds of, they're both jar, but they're jar for different reasons. Okay, this jar is called the mudaf ilayh. You already know that.
Yeah.
The guy that comes after the mudaf and could be jar, is mudaf ilayh.
Yeah.
This one, the one that gets beat up by a harf of jar,
Yeah.
that's called a majroor. That's a new word for you today. Majroor. Majroor. Okay. The harf of jar is called the harf of jar. Another word for it is jar. Can you say that?
Jar.
It's like double R. Jar.
Jar.
Jar. Yeah, that's triple R. Jar.
Jar.
Yeah, a little bit of R. Roberto, like that. Jar.
Jar.
That's like the start of a motorcycle. Jar. Like just
Jar.
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 A little less on the the bullfighting. Yeah. Jar.
Jar.
Yeah, a bit better. Jar. Okay. But the A is longer.
Yeah.
Right? So the harf of jar can be called
Jar.
jar. And the word that it made jar is called, its victim, who we beat up and made jar, is called the majroor.
Majroor.
So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you see something like, wal asri, right?
Yeah.
You're going to call this jar majroor. This part is jar and this part is majroor. Jar majroor.
Jar majroor.
Jar majroor.
Jar majroor.
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 Jar.
Jar.
Like a jar of jam. Jar. You can say jar majroor. I'm okay with that. Jar majroor. This is like jar majroor style. Like it's like so jar and like majroor because a harf of jar like made it jar.
Yeah.
Therefore,
it's majroor.
Yeah. So jar majroor. Yeah.
Jar majroor.
So if I say kitabullahi,
yeah.
or if I say minallahi, right? These two examples. Kitabu is light and doesn't have al on it.
Yeah.
That makes it a mudaf. So this would be the word kitab is mudaf and the word Allah is mudaf ilayh. In this case, min is one of the words you memorized. It's a harf of jar. No. Harf of haram, Maryam. The harf of nasab, inna, annaka, anna, bi, anna, layta, lakinna, la'alla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harf of jar or what? What are they? Is min part of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So min Allah would be a case of the min part would be the jar, and the word Allah would be the majroor. That this one's mudaf ilayh, and this one's jar majroor. That's the terms you use. That makes you sound super educated in Arabic. Like if you went to like a sheikh and said, Kitabullahi is mudaf ilayh.
Yeah.
And minallahi jar majroor.
Yeah.
You'd be like, whoa, why don't you lead the prayer? Hey, he can give the khutbah, he knows jar majroor. Oh, hey, you got hot in here in the masjid. That's what's going to happen. And that's not why you're learning it. You could find a sheikh, hey, by the way, minallahi jar majroor. Right? So, but the point is, this one is kitabullah is mudaf ilayh, and the words minallahi is jar majroor. Another example, and you tell me the words you would use, right? So, if I say, and ba is a harf of jar, right?
Yeah.
But the word Ibrahim, because it's a non-Arab name, it cannot take the e.
Yeah.
So it's u-a-a. That's why even in jar it's that.
Ibrahim.
So what would we call this? Be Ibrahima. Would we call this mudaf ilayh, or would we call this a jar majroor?
We call this, I think, a jar majroor.
Jar majroor. What do you think?
Jar majroor.
That would be a jar majroor. Okay. Millah means religion. Millata
So if
Ibrahim.
like the word comes from the harf of jar, it becomes yar majrur.
Jar majroor. Not
Why
yar
did you
majroor.
say yar?
Not yar majroor. Jar majroor.
Jar majrur. I'm sorry. I'll get good at it.
You'll get good at it. I know. You're just cute at it right now. It's good. It's okay. So millata, is it light?
Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't have al.
Yeah.
So that means it might be a
Mudaf.
mudaf. Could Ibrahima be jar?
No.
No.
You guys are still stuck on that.
No.
Oh,
Yes, it can be.
Yes, I
Because
forgot.
Yes, why? No, I forgot it's not good enough.
Ibrahima,
It's
Ibrahima.
not Arab.
Therefore,
So
the full answer is, if you mess that up, then you have to explain the whole thing to me this way. Ibrahima is not Arab, which makes it partly flexible,
Okay.
which means that the rafa ends with,
Ibrahimu, Ibrahima.
nasab ends with,
Ibrahima,
and jar ends with,
Ibrahima.
so it could be jar.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but I want you to get good enough that you say
Yeah.
that, right? So could this be jar?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
totally. So this could be a mudaf and
Mudaf
mudaf ilayh. So when you saw bi Ibrahima,
That would be.
that was
Jar majroor.
jar majroor. And when it's millata Ibrahima,
That's mudaf and mudaf ilayh.
okay, now listen. Have you ever said Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama
Yes.
sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid? You know this?
Yes.
Okay. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin. Ala Muhammadin. That's what you memorized.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this something that you've already learned about in this Arabic class?
No.
Really?
Oh wait, no,
Is
yeah, we
it?
have.
Oh,
And
yeah, you learned about
no.
Is
bata-
ala a familiar word?
Yeah, bata.
From where?
From the jar side. The harf of jar, I think.
Prove it to me. I don't believe you.
Bata kaf lam waw min fi an ala al an
Ala.
ala
Hala.
ala.
When you go through it, I want you to look at the word and go through it. Because
Okay.
if you're looking at the sky and going, Bata kaf lam waw min fi ana ala hatta ila, you still don't know which match it was.
Okay.
So look at it and do it, right?
Okay.
Bata kaf lam waw min fi ana ala. I've seen you before. You're ala. I memorized you. You have a place in my heart. Okay. Now ala would be a what?
This would be a harf of jar.
Therefore, these two things would be called what?
Jar majrur.
This would be a jar
Oh,
majroor.
yeah.
Jar majrur.
Jar majroor.
Jar majrur.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala.
Now when I pray, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is a jar majrur.
Yep. Then you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin. You say three words. Ala Ali Muhammadin. The ala, you know something about it.
Yeah.
What do you know about
It's
it?
a harf of jar.
Good. It's a harf of jar. A harf of jar makes the next word jar,
Jar.
and therefore Ali is jar,
Yeah.
right? Because it would have been alu, ala, or Ali, and it's Ali. It's jar.
Yeah.
What are these two going to be called if you're like super PhD Arabic? What do
Jar
you
majrur.
jar majroor? Which part of it is jar? Which part of it is majroor?
Jar is this guy, ala, and then
Mhm.
majrur is this guy,
Yep. This is jar. This is.
majrur.
Now let me ask you
Majroor.
something about Ali.
Ali.
Is this light?
Yes.
Ali. Yeah.
Totally. Does it have al on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Really? Take the al off. You still have a word left?
No.
No.
Oh.
So it's not like.
Ali.
Does it have al on it?
Yeah.
No. It has the word is al. Is it al or
No.
al?
Al.
You said light, no al, or did you say light, no al?
Oh, like no al.
Is there al?
No.
No.
If there was al, how would you say this word?
If it was no.
Ali.
Al,
Ali.
and then they say this word. Al.
Ali.
That's right. Al ali.
Yeah.
So there's actually no al on it. It's kind of
Oh,
tricky.
yeah.
Yeah. Al means family.
Oh,
In Arabic, al means family.
all my
So,
al.
now-
is English.
Is this light? The question comes back. Is this light and doesn't have al?
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Which means it could be a
Mudaf.
Yeah, can we
right
mudaf?
mudaf.
Mudaf.
But how do we prove something is a mudaf?
If it has no
it has
al.
the mudaf like after it.
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, it has no al and it's light. You're right. And then you also have to prove that the next word is.
Mudaf ilayh.
How do you prove the next word is a mudaf ilayh? So we're looking at the.
Jar.
Is it?
Uh, Din, yeah.
Then Muhammadin's non-Arab. Or
Muhammad's not Arab?
Muhammad.
Wait, is he? Oh, he
What is he?
I forgot. I forgot he was that.
How do you forget? He's like the most popular.
Yes, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is definitely Arab. He's definitely Arab.
So, it's not jar, so it's not.
It's not Jar?
It is.
It is. Oh, in yes.
In.
I forgot. Yeah. it's
Yes.
jar, Yeah.
Just because you see a name, don't go to non-Arab,
Okay.
right? Arab prophets are Arab. Okay, so Muhammad is an Arabic word, so Muhammadin would be
Jar.
Jar,
Jar.
which means that Ali is in fact a mudaf, and Muhammadin is in fact a
Jar.
Mudaf ilayh.
mudaf
Mudaf ilayh.
ilayh. So the labels are Ala is Jar,
Jar.
Ali
Jar.
is Majroor,
Majroor.
but Ali is also mudaf and
Mudaf
Mudaf
ilayh.
mudaf ilayh. Pretty cool. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin.
Muhammadin.
Kama sallaita
Ala.
ala, you're right. Then what? Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin. Kama sallaita ala
Ibrahima.
Ibrahima. That's what you memorize.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. What kind of word is ala?
Ala is a harf of jar.
Good. Ala is a harf of jar. Is the word Ibrahima in fact jar?
Ibrahim. Yeah, because the word, if it's in front of it, it becomes jar.
Ibrahima.
It's jar contagious.
Good, but you're right. It does catch the jar virus. Now the question is, how come this is jar and it ends with a?
Because Ibrahim is
Ibrahim is not
Maryam,
Arab.
Maryam.
non-Arab. Yeah.
Non-Arab. Therefore,
Yes,
I need the
and
full
it could be,
explanation.
It could be either nasab or jar, but in this case, because it's jar before, it has to be jar. You choose.
Right. And notice how even when you memorized it, right? It's so cool that this lesson of what's the difference between partly flexibles and fully flexibles is clear when you say the salawat on the Prophet ﷺ, because you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin. But when you said it on Muhammadin, it was in.
Yeah.
And then in the same line, when it came to Ibrahim, you didn't say Ibrahimin. Right? So
Yeah.
it kind of, you already memorized that there's a difference between those two. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahima. Then what? So ala Ibrahima would be a what? Is this a mudaf ilay? Ala Ibrahima?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Well, no, it's Ibrahim as mudaf and mudaf.
No,
The whole thing is.
no,
It's not. Oh, it's the
Mm-mm.
first one's jar,
right?
and then Ibrahima
Is
is a
Mudaf
no,
and-
what is the other name?
Ibrahim.
What was the? I forgot it. Jar Majroor.
Thank you. If you see, listen to me carefully. If you see a harf of jar and then its victim,
Yeah.
you never use the words mudaf ilayh.
Okay.
You always use the words Jar majroor.
majroor.
Why? Because a mudaf ilayh, both of them have to be isms. The mudaf has to be an ism and the mudaf ilayh has to be an ism. But in this case, ala is a harf. It's not an ism.
Yeah.
Remember the three kinds of words in Arabic?
Mm-hmm.
Ism, fi'il, harf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ala is a harf of jar.
Yeah.
So it's not even an ism, which means it can never be a mudaf.
Oh, okay.
So when you see two words together, you got to pick which label are you going to use. Are you going to use mudaf ilayh, or you're going to use
Mudaf.
jar majroor?
Jar majroor. Yeah.
Which one are you going to use in this
Jar
case?
majroor.
Good, jar majroor. Okay, now Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahima wa ala ali Ibrahima. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ala
Ala
ali
is,
Ibrahima.
It's a jar.
It's a harf of
Oh,
jar.
harf of
It's a
jar,
harf of jar. And what's the, if it's the jar, then what's the majroor?
Ali.
Good. Ali is the majroor.
Yeah.
Ali looks like it's a mudaf. Why would I say that? Why would I say such a terrible thing?
Ali because it has a e, so it becomes a jar.
No, you're right. It's the majroor already. We got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it might also be a mudaf.
Yeah.
How dare I say that?
Oh, because the word after it could be a
No,
mudaf,
that's
right?
not, you didn't check for mudafness yet. You're looking for mudaf ilayness already.
Oh, mudaf because it
Because
doesn't have al,
Doesn't have al.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
have
it's
al.
wait, if it doesn't have al,
And it's like
and it's light.
Yeah.
Is it light?
Yeah.
Because if it was heavy, it would have been
Alin.
Alin.
brilliant. So ala ali.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Could the next word be a mudaf ilay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ibrahima because it's partly flexible
Dang.
and it is non-Arab and there's only one Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Therefore, if it is jar, the jar contagiousness, so it becomes Ibrahima as jar.
So tell me this. I'm going to highlight these two words, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what should I say about them? Should I say mudaf? The ones that are gray. Should I say mudaf ilay or should I say jar majroor?
How dare you? It's jar mashurur.
Excellent. Maryam, if I highlight these two words, what should I say?
Mudaf ilayh.
Brilliant. Jar majroor, mudaf ilay.
Yeah.
I'm really happy right now. You guys are doing great. Questions online, Jawad? So far?
The one that I'm seeing mostly is, can a phrase be both jar majroor and idaf at the same time?
They can be connected to each other, but they can't be both at the same time, because a harf of jar can never be called a mudaf. So not at the same time, but you're seeing that they can be next to each other and chained together. Yeah, you can have chains. Okay. Rabbil Alameen, we did this before,
Yeah.
but let's do it again.
Okay.
Is this a mudaf and a mudaf ilayh?
Well, yes, because
Process.
mudaf Rabbi is light and it has no L.
Good.
So we can cut. It's partly there. And then alamina,
Hmm.
it has to be jar, but it's not, because alamina
Ina is jar or nasab.
jar or so
So then
yeah.
it would have, if you have a
Jar,
mudaf, you
it
have
becomes
to choose the
jar.
jar. If you have a
So
mudaf
is
in
it then a mudaf and a mudaf
Yeah.
ilayh?
Yes.
And when the magicians turned to the Pharaoh after believing in Musa alayhi salam, and they said, Amanna bi Rabbil Alameen. They used the word bi. Yeah?
B?
Bi. What is the relationship between bi and Rabbi?
B and Rabbi, they're both harf of jar.
So they're both? Rabb is not a harf
Oh,
of jar.
Rabb.
Oh
B
no,
is a
B
harf of
B
jar.
is
So how do you describe this?
a harf of jar.
No, jar and
Jar and majroor.
Jar and majroor.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
B would be the jar,
Mhm.
and the Rabb would be the
Majroor.
majroor. And the Rabb would be the mudaf, and the Alamina would be the
Mudaf
mudaf.
ilayh.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Then we did inna. Help me finish this line. Anna,
Anna ka'anna
ka'anna, good.
bi anna
Bi anna, good.
Layta.
Layta,
Lakinna. La'alla.
lakinna, and
la'alla. Yeah.
brilliant. Okay, so these are the harf of what?
Nasab.
Nasab. When you saw a harf of jar and its victim, what did you call it? Jar majroor. When you saw a light no alif lam and a jar after it, you called it mudaf and
Mudaf
mudaf ilayh. These ones, you don't have to, there's no hard terms. It's easy. If it's inna, let's pick each of them, right? If I say inna allaha, like that, I say, what is this? You'll say this is inna, and this is the ismu inna.
Ismu inna.
Ismu inna means it's victim.
Okay.
It's the ism that got beat up by inna, and the short way of saying that is what? Ismu inna. The word Allah is Ismu inna. So inna is the harf of nasab. You don't even have to call it a harf of nasab. You can just say inna. And then this will be, the word Allah became nasab, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be ismu inna. Just the word inna again, but what word before it? Ismu. Ismu inna, right? So if I say lakinna, is that one of them?
Yes.
Okay. So if I said lakinna allaha, you know what I'd say? This is lakinna, and this is ismu lakinna.
Ismu laki. Oh, okay.
The first one was what? Ismu inna. This one's what? Ismu.
Ismu lakinna.
Okay, so if I said la'allallaha,
Isma la'alla.
this is la'alla.
La'alla.
You call it what it is, la'alla. And the word Allah would be what?
Isma.
Ismu la'alla.
Oh, okay.
Ismu la'alla. Okay,
So you just apply ismu to whatever word is with it.
right.
Okay.
So
that's pretty easy.
you say layta al-muslima. So layta would just be called layta, and al-muslima would be called
Ismu layta.
excellent. Ismu layta.
It's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Whoever made that up.
Okay. Yeah, whoever made that, was pretty clever. So layta and ismu layta.
Yeah.
Inna wa ismu inna. Lakinna and ismu lakinna. La'alla and ismu la'alla. Right?
Yeah.
So now you're actually learning how to describe these things in proper Arabic. So if I opened up a tafsir from like 500 years ago, and they were talking about an ayah that has inna, and then the word that became nasab, they'd call it inna wa ismu inna.
Oh, okay.
They'd actually use those words in there, right? So you're learning things that have been used for hundreds of years, right? And they also call it mudaf and mudaf ilayh. They also call it jar and majroor. So now you're using the words and the descriptions that are being used for centuries by people from around the world that study the Quran, right? So yeah, it is pretty crazy and super cool. Okay, so I said that we have 4 properties of the ism,
Yes.
right? And those 4 properties were status,
Status,
number,
gender,
gender,
and type.
and type, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we did all that. Then, once you're done with the 4 properties of the ism, we have to study 5 fragments. And the fragment is more than a word, less than a sentence. That's the definition of a fragment. And there are 5 of them. The first fragment is called the idafa, which is made up of a mudaf and a mudaf ilay. You already did it.
Yeah.
And you know how that works. The mudaf is the word before the of, mudaf ilay is the word after the of. They have to be right next to each other. The mudaf is light, no alif lam. The mudaf ilay is jar. You know all of that and you've practiced it plenty, right? The second one is jar and majroor. And those are the words you memorized on page 27. How do they go?
No.
من في عن على حتى إلى.
There was one of the students in the class. She commented. She's a mom and she homeschools her children, so she was having a hard time remembering ba ta kaf lam wow, the first part.
Yeah.
So she said she rearranged it and made it into ba wow kaf lam ta, and then made the word booklet.
She made actually wow.
So she just made the acronym booklet min fi an ala hatta ila. That whatever works.
Yeah. As
Okay.
long as you gotta memorize.
But I like Bata Kafla Maud too still. I'm old school. So Jar Majroor would be the second fragment, right? So what I'm saying is one way 2 words can come together is they could be mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Another way 2 words can come together is one of them could be a harf of jar and the other one get beat up by it. The harf of jar is called the jar and the guy that get beat up will be called the majroor, right? Another way you can get something is inna and its ism, which could be lakinna and its ism, inna wa ismu, inna and ismu inna, lakinna and ismu lakinna, layta and ismu lakinna. We did that, right? So, and they just make the next word nasab. Now I want to add some things to this. This first one, nothing comes between mudaf and mudaf ilayh. This jar majroor, nothing comes between a jar and a majroor. But inna and its ism, they are okay with a long distance relationship.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they're right next to each other. Like, when you read Surah Al-Asr, you read Innal insana lafi khusr. Right? So the words Innal insana lafi khusr, which one is the harf of nasab here? Tell me.
The harf of nasab, it's inna.
Good. And the thing that became nasab is what word here?
That became nasab is inna al-insana.
Al-insana became nasab, right? Yeah. So this would be inna and al-insana would be ismu inna.
Ismu inna.
Ismu inna. The la here actually means truly. And then there's fi khusrin, and fi is one of the harf of what?
Jar.
Good. So fi would be the jar.
Jar and
Khusr would be the
majroor.
That's why it's khusrin, right?
Yeah.
So in this case they were right next to each other. Right?
Yeah.
You guys memorized Surah An-Naba at all? Amma yatasa'alun?
Yeah, like a little bit.
Okay. Inna lil
Muttaqina mafaza.
Wow, well done. Mafazan. Let me tell you a little crazy story about inna lil muttaqina mafazan. Inna is a harf of jar. Inna says, I really want to do one thing in my life. I want to make something nasab.
Wait, no, we said jar. Isn't that?
Oh, sorry. You're right. I messed up. Inna is a harf of nasab. And Inna said, if there's one thing I want to accomplish in life is make something nasab. I'm going to go on a quest to nasbify something. That is what I was made to do. So Inna goes over to Li. Yeah?
Yeah.
And Li says, excuse me, I'm a harf of jar. Haven't you heard of ba, ta, kaf, lam? Harf of jars don't have a status. Harf of jars give a status to something else. Isms have status. Isms have rafa, nasab, and jar. Harfs don't have those properties. You can't make me jar. You can't make me nasab. I'm not even an ism. Get out of here. So it says, Inna says, I shall continue my quest and find someone to nasbalize. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes to the word al-muttaqina. Al-muttaqina ends with ina. And ina could be nasab or jar. So Inna said, hey, you could be nasab or jar. Wanna nasab with me? right? And li says, excuse me, I'm a harf of jar, and I'm already jarifying
Them.
al-muttaqina.
Yeah.
So ina, this combination is actually jar, and nothing comes between a harf of jar and its victim, jar and majrur. Nothing comes between them. So not only could inna not have any effect on li, inna did not have any chance to have an effect on al-muttaqina, because li said, get out of here. Okay, we're together and you're not coming in between our friendship. Beat it. Inna says, fine, I'll just keep looking, I guess. And inna goes on and on and on until he finds what word?
Mafasan.
Is mafazan nasab?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And you know why it's nasab?
Because then.
Because inna
And, yeah.
said, hey, I know you're far away from me. Do you want a nasab like over email? And mafaz says, fine. Yeah, I think it'll be successful. I said that because mafaz means success. But okay. And mafazan said, sure. Because inna means sure.
Oh, yeah. So they can be a long distance relationship.
That's right. Long distance relationship.
One's at college, one's at home.
That's right. Inna fi. Oh, maybe I should pull this ayah up. I wonder what ayah number it is. I'm
From Jazama?
no,
Or
from
is it
Baqarah.
Baqarah?
Yeah, let me see if I'm totally not Dr. Zakir Naik.
Oh,
He
yeah.
could just,
He just pulls it up in his brain. Like his brain is a Google.
yeah.
Muslim Google. Especially Ahmed did that too. Ahmed did that was like a bomb.
Oh, sorry, messed up. لقوم $164. So I'm gonna go to Baqarah here.
How long
Baqarah,
does it take somebody to like recite Baqarah like correctly?
couple hours.
Couple hours. Yes.
164. Here we go. What do you see in the beginning?
And
Inna wants to make something what?
nasabified.
So it came to fi.
Yeah. But feels
Say
like-
you want a nasab? Fi says, I don't do that. I'm a harf.
Of jar.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't even have status. How are you gonna make me nasab even if I don't even have status? Isms have status.
Yeah.
So Inna says, fine. I'll just go on to khalqi. And fi says, no, you don't, because fi is a harf of what?
Jar.
And I don't allow anything to come between me and my majroor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get to mess with me.
Yeah.
Khalqi is light and no al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as-samawati,
Samawati is
as-samawati could be jar.
Yeah.
You remember atun, atin, atin?
Yeah.
So atin could be nasab or jar.
Yeah.
And the atin is ati here because the al doesn't like tanween,
Yeah.
right? So this would make it, if it could be jar, it is jar. So this becomes a mudaf and a
Mudaf.
mudaf ilayh. So Inna says, man, I'm out of luck. And then al-ardi is clearly jar,
Yeah.
e.
Mhm.
واختلافي الليلي والنهاري والفلكي. Inna says, man, I'm not getting any nasabs.
Yeah.
Right? And the ayah goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on until you get to this word.
Wow.
Read this word. The ayatin. Now this is not, you remember when you did harf of jar, you said ba, ta, kaf, lam. This is not the same lam. That lam comes with an e sound, like alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
This lam is not with an e sound, it is with an a sound.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's not part of the harf of jar.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a neutral lam. We'll learn about this lam later. All you need to know right now is it is not a harf of
Jar.
jar. It's kind of like a floater. It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't like
It's a
nasbalize
drift.
anything or jarify anything. It just kind of hangs out.
It's just a drift. That's it.
It's a drifter. Yes. Now look at the word ayatin.
Ayat.
Ayatin. Is that a sound or combination?
Combination.
Good. What combination is it?
Ayat.
Is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Is it singular, pair, or plural?
This is pair.
Mm,
No, pro.
plural.
Yeah.
And what status is it?
This is heavy.
It's heavy, but what status is it? Rafa or nasab or jar?
Oh, this is nasab or jar.
It's jar.
You're saying
Oh.
jar, you're saying nasab or jar. We have to figure this out. Muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin.
Oh, it's nasab or jar.
Right. Everything else was definitely jar.
Yeah.
The only thing that could be nasab or jar is ayatin in this ayah. And one day I will teach you how inna in the beginning of the ayah made ayatin nasab.
Wow.
Way down here.
Yeah. That guy's
So
in North Dakota.
I gave you, yeah, seriously. I only gave you this example, not because you're ready to understand the ayah yet, but to teach you one thing. There could be a pretty long distance between
Yeah.
inna and its ism.
Yeah.
There could be a long distance between them.
But
Or they could be right next to each other.
Yeah.
The issue is you have to know who did it beat up.
Yeah.
And that's going to actually affect how we translate the ayah. Right? So if the ayatin was right next to it right here,
Mhm.
me as someone trying to translate the ayah would translate it differently. But ayatin is way down there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to translate it differently. And that's one of the skills we're going to learn when we understand this better. So I come back to what I was writing down for you. We did this. Okay, yeah. So we've done 3 fragments. We've done the mudaf and the mudaf ilayh. We've done the jar and the majroor, and you've done inna and its ism, right? I said altogether, how many fragments are there going to be?
5.
5. We're already done with 3 of them. We're already done with 3. Okay. What I'm going to try to do today, we have a couple of hours. I'm going to try to do 4 and 5.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to try to do 4 and 5. Again, we're still one day behind as far as schedule is concerned, but I'm not too worried about rushing. I think comfortably we can do 4 and 5 today.
Okay.
Okay. So let's get started on number 4. But before we do, I'd like to take any questions, Jawad, if people have them.
So
I think the biggest thing right now is, do you think we could do a couple more examples
Of?
I think each of these concepts?
Okay. Let's open up some Quran. That would be best. So let's open up Surah Al-An'am. My friend Dr. Suhaib's favorite surah, because he did a whole PhD on the surah. Okay. Lots of words here. We can't do all of them yet, but let's look at Wallahi. Wallahi. What do you think?
this is a sound.
No. How many words is it first?
Oh, it's 2.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the first word?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Bata kaf lam wow.
Yep.
It's jar.
So it's a
Therefore, the
harf-
word Allah is what?
jar.
Jar.
So how do you describe this?
Jar
my-
and majroor.
Jar al-majroor.
Yeah.
Jar al-majroor. Mushrikina, just a word by itself. I just want 4 properties. I want status, number, gender, and type.
Ina.
Ina is either jar or nasab.
Good. That's a
Yeah.
good answer.
Okay, and then number,
Mm-hmm.
it would come from third. So it'd be-
Therefore,
it's plural.
good.
So we
So
already
we've got nasab or jar in plural. Good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a sign to be feminine, so
So-
it's masculine.
Even a better, the answer is correct, but a better way to get that answer is it came from the masculine chart.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's masculine.
Yeah.
Right? What about common or proper?
It
Um,
is
Which story is good at me?
no. This is proper. No, this is common. Yeah.
Why? The why is more important than the answer.
Because
If you see al on it,
it makes it
it's proper.
proper.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you don't see al, it's common.
It's common. Okay. Let's see. Let's try this one. Akinnatan. 4
Akinnatan.
properties.
And it's nasab.
It would be
no,
sound.
yes,
No.
it's nasab, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sound.
It's
It's
nasab.
sound, yeah.
Sound.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
It's singular.
singular. 'Cause-
Yeah, or it could be a broken plural.
Yeah.
And then so we got number. We need gender now.
Mhm.
So the gender would be
Look at it.
this would be I think this would be feminine, right?
What?
Because there's no sign of masculine.
No, wrong.
Because of the alif.
No.
I forgot. 10.
Oh, because of the 10.
Because of the hijab.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah. I
hijab,
forgot about the
yes.
hijab.
That makes it a feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nasab, it's one, it's
It's
feminine. Is
feminine.
it common or proper?
This is because this is common because it has no al.
Good. It's common because it has no al. Ooh. Now we get to the fun part. Kulla ayatin. Kulla ayatin.
This is jar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait, no. How many words is this?
2.
2.
Okay. What do you notice about the first word?
Kulla.
Kulla.
So
Nasab?
ba,
Or,
ta,
yes,
kaf, lam.
Right. But, you know, when you see, let me ask you this or remind you of this. Normally, a word should be heavy.
Yes.
So the moment you see a word is light, you should start asking, why in the world are you light? And you know, one of the most common reasons, most popular reasons a word should be light is maybe it's a mudaf.
Yeah.
But light is just one part of being a mudaf. What are the two things that make a word
It has
mudaf?
no al.
Right. So you ask, hey, kulla, first of all, I'm going to suspect you because you're light,
Mm-hmm.
but let's see if you have an al on you.
He doesn't have al.
Might be a mudaf.
Yeah.
How do you prove that 100%?
If
It
the
has
next
a
word is
mudaf
the
ilayh
ayat.
after.
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Ayat 10, which means that this would be labeled what?
Mudaf and
Mudaf
mudaf
and
ilayh.
Mudaf and mudaf ilayh. You notice all the stuff I skipped
Yeah.
because you don't know yet. You will. Then more and more of this text will start getting read. And by day 10, most of it will be read. Like we'll be able to think about everything that's happening. Okay. Let's do this one. They're in 2 different lines. So I'll put them in one line. أساطير الأولين. أساطير الأولين. Okay. Is the first word suspicious?
Yes.
Why?
Because it is light.
Good.
and
Because
it
normally words should be
heavy.
heavy. Good. So
And
it's
it
light.
doesn't have an al, so it could be a mudaf.
Good.
And then we have to check awalina.
Mhm.
So awalina,
Awalina, it's either nasab
Nasab
or
or jar.
jar.
But for this case, we would call it jar.
Yeah.
Very good. Because the mudaf fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asatir means legends.
Legends.
And al-awwalin means the ancient people.
Ancient legends.
The legends of the ancient
Yeah.
people.
Oh.
You said it backwards.
Legends of, because you put of between mudaf and
Yeah.
mudaf ilayh, right? Legends of ancient people.
Okay.
Because some people said Quran is just legends of ancient people. It's just old stories. It's just myth. Okay, what about this one? I don't know if you can handle this. 3 more minutes, I'll give you your first break.
Okay.
Because I want to fry your brains after the break. So I'm
Okay.
going to give you a good, like,
I
put your
can
brains in the fridge for a little bit, let them cool off, and then I'll put them on the frying pan.
Okay, I already know this is a harf of jar.
Good.
So therefore, it's gonna be jarified after that. So it becomes
Jar
jar and majrur.
Excellent. Excellent. Ala nar would be jar and majroor.
I want to keep doing this. It's fun.
Okay, do this one.
Man. But okay, this is a harf of nasab.
Is it? What are the harf of nasab?
Inna anna ka'anna bi'anna.
Inna anna ka'anna bi anna layta lakinna la'alla min.
Min.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Min is in there, right?
Yeah. So
No.
there. Oh, wait, no, it's not in there. No.
You just added.
Wait, you added it.
You-
after that.
You guys so got trolled.
Yeah.
Woo!
So no, this isn't a harf of nasab. So
So which harf is it?
Min fi an.
min.
Min fi
See,
an.
you looked at the sky and did it again.
Yeah.
Min.
Oh, so it's a harf
Now
of jar.
Thank
It's a
you.
harf of jar. So
Okay, what's the
therefore
next
it
word?
gets jarified. So therefore this is jar and majrur.
Is the next word jar because of an ending sound or an ending combination?
Combination.
Al-mu'minina.
Ina is because it's combination.
Yeah.
Excellent. Min al-mu'minina. That's
Caught me on
I
that
feel like
one.
you're trying to trick us somehow.
uh-huh. Ooh, this one's crazy. But I'll tell you later. You can't handle that one yet. It's just,
You should try
You-
this.
it's gonna hurt your brain.
Can we get a harf of nasab example?
I'll ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. You asked, Allah gave. لكن الظالمين بآيات الله يجحدون. We're going to do all this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Lakinna. What kind of word is lakinna?
The half of
Nasab.
nasab.
Good. What should it do to the next word?
Become
nasabify
nasaba.
it.
It should nasbify it. So avalimina, which ends with an ending combination, could be nasb or jar.
Yeah.
But in this case,
It'll be nasab.
it's definitely nasb. How do I label this? How do I describe this sounding like an impressive
Jar.
Arabic
majroor.
expert? No.
No, it's.
How can you call
ismu-
this jar majroor when it's not even a harf of jar?
ismu
Oh,
walakinna.
sorry. Ismu
This one will
walakinna.
be called lakinna,
Yeah.
and
Ismu
avalimina would
lakinna.
ism lakinna.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Good
forgot
job.
that.
This is ismu. This is lakinna, and this is ism lakinna.
Yeah.
That's how you label it. And this became nasb. Fine. Bi ayati Allahi. How many words do you see?
I see
Two.
two.
No.
No, there's three.
There's
Ba.
3. How do you know there's 3? Because you memorize them.
Yeah. Ba.
Ba ta kaf lam mim. B, like Bismillah, A'udhu Billah. The B will tell you that it is a harf of jar.
Jar.
Okay.
So therefore, the other word has to be jarified, so it becomes jar.
How many
majroor.
words do you see? I ask you again.
3.
Three.
Okay. So let's deal with 2 at a time.
Okay.
So B would be the harf of jar.
Jar. Yes.
Yeah.
What is its victim? Who became jar?
Yati.
Ayati.
Oh, ayati. Yeah.
Ayati. Is ayati ending sound or ending combination?
Sound.
Sound.
Astaghfirullah al-azim. No.
No, wait. This is a combination.
Which one?
The feminine one.
Yes.
one, yeah.
Why is there no in on it?
Because there's no alif or
because-
there's no lam.
Because wait, I forgot.
Wait,
It
is it light?
Yeah, it's light.
Wait, it's light?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
What else can I ask if it's light?
if it has an al.
Does it?
No, so this becomes
This it might be light and no al because it's a
mudaf.
mudaf, which means the next word might be a.
Mudaf ilay.
How do I know if the next word is a mudaf ilayh?
If it's jar.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my God. This is B was a jar.
Mhm.
Ayati was the majroor.
Yeah.
Then ayati, because it's light and no alif lam, was the mudaf. And the word Allahi was the
Mudaf
mudaf
ilayh.
ilayh. You guys are unlocking Arabic
Wow.
of the Quran. You're unlocking it. You're starting
We're
to
picking
connect
the lock.
words together. B, jar, majroor, mudaf, mudaf ilayh, lakinna, ismu lakinna, inna, ismu inna. Things are starting to connect. Remember I told you bricks start connecting to each other?
Yeah.
Now you're starting to connect them
Yeah,
together.
we're picking like a million locks.
Yep. Now you're going to take a good 8-minute break and relax as much as you can. If you need to lie down and make, snow butterflies without the snow, snow angels without the snow,
Yeah.
or if you need to roll around in the masjid, or you need to bang your head against a wall, or you want to use the punching bag in the gym, whatever you want to do, you do for 8 minutes. And you guys also just relax, stretch, get your blood circulating, because I'm going to fry your brains in 8 minutes. It's going to happen.
Deep fried.
Okay? Let's go.
Not just fried, deep fried, guys. Remember that.
Jawad, you're free to answer questions if students want.
Does the studio have air?
Let me mute this mic so you guys can.
My neck was hitting so bad because I don't use pillows.
Okay, let's see. So I did see all of the questions about the wow before lakinna. Remember, the harf of jar, if we have a harf of jar, the ism has to come immediately after it. And there are different types of wow. So if you see a wow, and then after that there's no ism, then that means the wow we're looking at is not a harf of jar. And this wow is not a harf of jar. That's why we didn't pay attention to it. Sometimes you're going to see Ustad give examples from Quran, and he'll ignore parts of the ayah, or parts of the word. And that's because it's something we haven't covered yet. And if you focus on the parts that Ustad is not focusing on, then more often than not, that's going to be something we haven't covered, and you're going to confuse yourself that way. So inshallah, make sure that when Ustad is giving examples and you see he's not giving attention to something, then it's better to let that go for now, and we'll come back to it, inshallah. Ayman maf'ul bihi is not the same as jar majroor, and try to keep, this is for everybody, try to keep your questions focused on the content that we're covering. Try not to go too far ahead. So if you guys go to the link at the bottom of the screen, the study resources link, you should see there are audio recordings underneath some of the videos. They should be available now. Let me double check. Yes, so underneath the day 2 video, you'll find the Muslim chart, and underneath the day 4 video, you'll find an overview of status. And then underneath yesterday, the day 5 video, you'll find the Harf of Jar and the Harf of Nasab recordings. Inshallah, those are free to view. Merciful Soldier, I did not understand your question. Please rephrase it or explain it a little bit, inshallah. Disa, you are correct. It's not only inna and its ism, but it could be for any of the harf of nasab. So you can have lakinna and you can have the ism of lakinna. And you can have la'alla and the ism of la'alla and so on for all of them. And the long distance rule applies to all of them, or it can apply to all of them. Not that it will, but it can. Of Sheen for kulla ayatin, again, we haven't started looking at translations yet, so don't get too caught up on translations. One mistake you're making in your translation is you're flipping how we're supposed to translate it. You're bringing ayah first, and then of, and then whole. But it should be the other way around. Kulla comes first, so we translate that first. And kulla can mean all of something, or it can mean everything, right? So there are different ways we can translate it. Kulla ayatin could mean all of the sign. All of the sign. Isaac, harf jar and mudaf ilay are not the same thing. In a harf jar and its ism, we have the first word is a harf and the second word is an ism. So in that one we have harf and then ism. Harf plus ism combination. But in an idafa we have an ism and an ism combination. Both words in an idafa need to be an ism, but in jar majroor, one word is a harf and one word is an ism. Same for harf of nasab. One word will be a harf and then the victim of it will be an ism. So please do make that distinction. Merciful Soldier, fragments are groups of words. It's more than just one word, but it's not a full sentence yet. So when we look at, for example, وَلَكِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ, this is two words, right? We have lakinna, one word, and then we have الظَّالِمِينَ, that's two words. So it's more than a word, but it's not a whole sentence yet. We just have a part of a sentence. That's why we call them fragments. It's a fragment of a sentence. Ayman, I already answered that question. Okay. I am seeing a lot of requests to go over this last example, so we will, inshallah. Fahima. We have 3 different fragments going on. Unfortunately, I can't highlight different words or color them in on the screen, so you'll just have to follow along with my words. But we're going to go over everything that's highlighted red here. وَلَكِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. So the first thing we have is we have a harf of nasab and its ism fragment. So lakinna was one of our harfs of nasab, right? We had inna, anna, ka'anna, bi'anna, layta, lakinna. So here we have lakinna, harf of nasab, and then after that we have a word that could be nasab, so it will be nasab, right? So we have harf of nasab lakinna, and its ism is al-zalimina. Lakinna al-zalimina is our first fragment. Again, harf of nasab lakinna, and its ism is al-zalimina. And then we move on to the next word, bi'ayati. And ba is one of our harfs of jar, right? Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. The first letter there, ba. Ba can be a harf of jar. And we see the word after it, ayati, is majroor. So we have to ask, why is ayati majroor? And the ba at the beginning of it, the ba attached to the beginning, is what's making it majroor. So here is our second fragment. Our first fragment again was lakinna zalimina. The second fragment is bi'ayati. And this one is harf of jar bi, and then its victim is ayati. Please do let me know if I need to explain any of that again, inshallah. And then the last fragment we have is ayatillahi. When we look at ayati, we see that ayati is light. And remember, we always need a reason to make something light. The default for a word is for it to be heavy. So when we see that a word is light, we need to ask ourselves, why is it light? And one of the main reasons we have for a word being light is if it is mudaf. And the two conditions for mudaf are light and no alif lam. So we see ayati, it's light. It also doesn't have alif lam. So it could be a mudaf. And the way we can confirm that is by looking at the word after it. The word after it should be jar as well. And the word Allah is jar. And that makes ayatillahi in idafa. So again, we have three fragments here. وَلَكِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ is the first one, harf of nasab and its ism. Bi-ayati is the second one, harf of jar and its victim. And then ayatillahi is the last one, and that's mudaf ilay. I hope that was clear. Zahida, I already went over the waw of lakinna and why we didn't talk about that. That's not a harf of jar waw, that's a different waw. And we haven't learned that yet, and we'll learn it at some point, inshallah.
Come on, kiddos. It's time to start. Okay, let me talk to everybody. You guys can hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Jawad, can you hear me? Okay. Bismillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Welcome back. Want to talk to you about a few things moving forward. What I'm going to teach you in the next hour is probably definitely one of the most important lessons of all of Arabic. People that become good at this become good at Arabic. People that are not good at this are not good at Arabic. It's a make it or break it. Okay, so it's one of those most important lessons of the Arabic language. I want to make sure you guys are very, very good at it. And you know, there are still some questions that students have about the harf of jar and the harf of nasab. And you know, just one thing I will say is that harf is a whole world. And unfortunately, just the way that the language is designed, harf share. So, for example, in Arabic, there's different kinds of wa. The letter wa. We said ba, ta, kaf, lam, wow, right? So the wow, there's different kinds. Only one of them is a member of the harf of jar gang. Yes. But there are lots of other wows in the Quran that have nothing to do with the harf of jar. Obviously, you can ask, well, how am I going to know if it's a member or not? You will when the time comes. As you become more and more advanced, you're going to know that which one belongs to the harf of jar group and which one doesn't, right? Same thing with lam. There's like 7 different kinds of lam. So, which one is the harf of jar and which one is not, you will know when the time comes. Right now, you just need to be introduced to one group at least. You can't know everything at once. You got to know one thing at a time and build up, right? So the lesson that I want to teach you, before I do that, I just need you to understand something about the way that I teach. Some things have to be memorized. So far, you've memorized 3 things. You memorized Muslimun, Musliman. Do this with me. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. So you memorized that. That was page 6. You memorized the harf of jar on page 27. Those are ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Excellent. Then you memorized the harf of nasab that are on page 28. Those are inna, anna, ka'anna, bi anna, layta, lakinna, la'alla. Wonderful. Now you're going to memorize something on page 18. Okay, we're going a little bit backwards. Okay, so we did 6, 27, 28, and now we're going to head back on page 18. So I'd like you to open it up and let me explain it to you, and then we're going to discuss it.
What's like the title of the page?
Pronouns.
Oh, pronouns are crazy.
Ah, you do remember that.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, it's on the page.
What's that? The screen?
Oh yeah, time to show the screen.
See?
Okay, this is page 18. First word on page 18, you can see it on the screen here as you see it there, is the word huwa. Okay, the second word is what?
Huma.
Huma. And the third word is
Hum.
home. Home, right? Then in the second line, you've got the word
Here.
hiya.
Yeah.
Hold on. We'll skip the grays. Hiya, then huma,
Huma.
and then hunna. Let me highlight it with my pen so you guys can follow along on the screen. Hunna,
Hunna.
then anta,
Anta.
antuma,
Antuma.
antum,
Antum.
anti,
Anti.
antuma,
Antuma.
antunna,
Antunna.
ana,
Ana.
nahnu.
Ana. Nahnu.
Okay. These words are pronouns.
Yes.
Let me tell you something about the white boxes versus the gray boxes.
Mhm.
The gray boxes we're not worried about right now at all. We almost pretend they don't exist right now. Okay? We don't care. We only care about the white boxes. Okay? The words you see in the white boxes are all rafa. I don't care how they sound. I don't care that they don't have a combination. I don't care that they don't have an ending sound, because pronouns are crazy. They don't care about ending sounds. They don't care about ending combinations.
The rebels.
They are rebels. Okay, so huwa, if somebody asks, what's the status of huwa? You'd say rafa. Huma, rafa. Hum, rafa. Hiya, rafa. Huma, rafa. Hunna, rafa. Anta, rafa. And if somebody says, anta is rafa, are you crazy? Because anta looks like it's got an a at the end. It should be nasab. No, it's a pronoun. You don't realize that it's crazy. It doesn't care about no sounds. Antuma, rafa. Antum, rafa. Anti, it's got an e. Should be jar. No, we don't care. It's a pronoun. Anti is rafa. Antuma, rafa. Antunna, rafa. Ana is rafa. And nahnu is rafa. Ana, nahnu. All of these guys are rafa, and we don't care about their sound or their combination. So you notice in every single box is an RAF on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should put an apostrophe there too, but rafa all the way through.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, you must know these pronouns and what they mean, all of them. Here's how we're going to learn that. You're going to repeat after me just these 3. You're going to say huwa, say it.
Hua.
Huma,
Huma.
hum.
Hum.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Hua. Huma. 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 Hum.
Look at me and say it.
Hua. Huma. Hum.
You say it.
Hua, huma, hum.
Good. Huwa, huma, hum.
Hum.
Hiya, huma, hunna. Look at it and say it. Huwa, huma, hum. No, not huwa, huma, huma. No, there's no huma, huma, huma.
Hua. Huma. Hun. Hum.
Hum.
Okay,
You
this
said
one
hum.
has an M at the end.
Yeah.
This one has an N at the end. This is the only N.
Okay.
This one has an M in it. This one has an M in it. Okay? But the only N is this last one.
Okay.
So don't say huwa, huma, hun. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma,
Hun.
hunna.
Hunna.
So the only time the N shows up
It's
is
hun.
right here at the end. Don't
Okay.
bring the N up before then, okay?
Okay.
Some students say huma, huma, hum, huma, huma, huna, hunnu, huna, hunnu, huna, huna, hunan chicken. Okay? No. Careful. Hua, huma, hum. Say it.
Hua, huma, hum.
You try.
Hua huma hum.
Good. Hiya, huma, hunna.
Hiya huma hunna.
Try that second line 5 times. Hiya, huma, hunna. 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 One more. Hiya, huma, hunna. All 6. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. 5 more times. Look at it and say it out loud. Hua, huma, hum. You can look at your page. It's clear in front of you. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. 3 more times. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Hua, not hiya. Hua,
Hua,
huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. One more. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Okay, let's hear it.
Hua, huma,
Hiya.
hun. Hiya,
Oh
huma.
huma. Oh hua.
Wow, you messed him up. Don't sabotage.
Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna.
That was excellent. I want to hear it again.
Huma, no. Hiya, huma,
Hua.
hua, huma, hua, hiya, huma.
I'm gonna make all kinds of faces. So you
Hua.
decide if my face is the validation for your
Okay.
answer.
Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hina.
Hey, you here? Hunna.
Hunna.
Good. Again.
Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna.
Good. One more time.
Huma,
Nope.
no. Hiya, huma, hum.
No.
Hua.
Hua.
Hua, hiya, huma.
Relax. Breathe. Hua. Huma.
Huma, hum.
Hiya. Huma.
Hiya, huma, hunna.
Good. You get it right the first time. You mess up the second time. That's why I make you do it twice. You.
Hua huma hun.
Nope.
Oh. What was
Hum. All M's.
Fad, close your page. I can see it. Hua huma. Hua huma.
You don't have to say
hun.
humma. You say huma.
Oh, hiya huma hun.
No,
Hunna.
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 So the only time you say like stressed with a shadda is hunna. Everything else is easy going. Hua, huma, hum. Repeat that.
Hua
Huma.
huma hunna.
No, wait. Repeat what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Hua, huma, hum.
Hua huma hun.
No N's.
Okay.
Only M's. Hua, huma, hum.
Hua huma hun.
Hum.
Hum.
There's no N till the end.
Hua, huma, hum.
Hua huma hum.
Good. One more time. Hua, huma, hum.
Hua huma hum.
Good. Hiya, huma, hunna.
Hiya huma hun hunna.
Yes, hunna. This has to be memorized. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Make noise and memorize it.
Okay.
All of you, make noise. This is time you have to take. Some of Arabic, I can only teach you if you know some things by heart. If you don't know them by heart, you cannot progress. So take some time out. Even if you didn't get to memorize it by the end of class today, before tomorrow, you got to put the time in. If it takes you 8 hours to do it, it takes you 8 hours to do it. Doesn't matter. You're going to do it. You have to, in your mind, get this bug out of your head. I can't do it. Get that out of your head. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Take 5 minutes and get this right. Go ahead.
Hua, huma, hum.
Hua huma hum.
Hua, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna.
I'm going to mute these guys so you guys don't get distracted by their struggle. You guys do your own struggle. Let's see how productive those 5 minutes. Let's see how productive those 5 minutes were. Let's hear it, Maryam.
Huwa huma hun. Hiya huma hunna.
Huwa huma.
Hunna.
Start over.
Hunna.
Oh. Hiya huma hunna.
No, start over. Start over.
Oh,
from the
okay.
top.
Huwa
Yeah.
Huwa huma hum.
Good.
Hiya huma hunna.
Excellent.
Huwa huma hum. Hiya huma hunna.
Good. Good. Huwa means he.
Huwa.
Huwa means he.
He.
In every line, you memorize 3 words, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, remember this. First word you memorize is always 1. Second word you in every line is always 2. Third one is always more than 2.
More than 2.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll make you remember the meanings easier too.
Okay.
And so huwa, huma, hum is 3 words.
Yeah.
Huwa will be 1. Huma will be 2. Hum will be plural. Hiya, huma, hunna. Which one is 1?
Here.
Good. Which one is 2?
Huma.
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 Which one is more than 2?
He. Hunna.
Okay, now listen to the meanings. Huwa is he. How many people is he?
1.
1. Huma, both of them. What does it mean, both of them? How many?
2.
2. Hum means they.
That's
Oh,
more
a
than
lot of
two.
people.
A lot of people. Hiya means she. How many people is that?
1.
No.
Oh, 1. I was
she.
thinking of an
Unless she has multiple personality disorder, it's still 1 person. Okay? Hiya is 1 person. Huma,
Huma is
both
2.
of those women.
Yeah,
It's
both.
2.
Okay, both of them. And you know the word for both of those men and both of those women, or man and woman, doesn't matter. Huma is the same word.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then hunna is the feminine version of they. Okay? Now in English we don't have that. If there's a group of women, I say they.
Mhm.
If there's a group of men, I say they. And if I see a group of men and women, I still say
They.
they. But the Arabs have a they for men, or men plus women. They have that, which is hum, right? And then they have a they, which is just for women,
Yeah.
right? And that's hunna.
Hunna.
So I like to translate that in Texan as them ladies,
Oh yeah, I remember this.
okay? Hunna.
Hunna.
Because we don't really have a word for that in English. So them ladies, okay? So what does hua mean without looking?
Who are he?
Who are he?
Good. Huma,
Both of
Yeah,
them.
both of them.
good. Hum,
They.
they. Hia,
She.
she. Huma,
Both of them.
hunna,
They.
they what?
Them ladies.
Them ladies. Can you say all 6 of them with their meanings to me?
I.
Who are he? Huma. Both of them. Hum. They.
Good.
Here. She.
Good.
Huma. Both of them. And then hunna. Them ladies.
Brilliant. Excellent job, Maryam.
Okay, who is he?
Hmm.
Huma is they, and then
No, Huma is not they.
who are Huma? Huma is they, right? No,
No,
Huma
two
is
people.
both of them.
Good. Second one's always going to be 2 people.
Yeah.
Good.
Third one is Hua Huma Hum. Hum is they.
Good.
He is she.
Good.
Hua Huma.
Hia,
is
Huma. Mhm.
Hia Huma. That's both of them.
Good.
And then Hunna is them ladies.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And what status are all of them?
Rafa.
Always Rafa.
Yeah.
Always Rafa. Okay. Now,
Does pronouns just have like a fetish for Rafa?
no, I don't like that word. Anta, and you'll see the nasab and jar pronouns too.
Okay.
Anta,
Anta.
you. Anta means what?
You.
You.
Oh.
Take a guess. Antuma, what do you think it means?
They.
The second word's always how many?
They.
Don't look at the meaning.
Two.
Both of you.
Both of you.
Yeah.
If anta means
Oh,
you,
You.
antuma means
Both
of you. And the third word is antum. What do you think it means?
They.
No, we already did they. They is
Oh.
You.
you all.
You all. What?
Or because we're in Texas, y'all.
Y'all.
Okay.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Antum is y'all, all of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so anta means what? You.
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 Antuma,
Both of you.
both of you. Antum,
You.
All of
Y'all.
you.
All of you.
all of you. Now, remind yourself of something. When you did huwa huma hum, right?
Mhm.
The meaning was he, both of them, and they, right? Remember?
Yeah.
he's not here.
Mhm.
Both of them are not here, and they are not here. They're far away.
Yeah.
She isn't here. Both of them aren't here. Those women aren't here. They're
Yeah.
far away. But anta, you're here.
Yeah.
And once you start with any word that starts with ant,
Mhm.
the meaning has to have you in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? So anta is you. Antuma is both of
You.
you because it has ant in it.
Yeah.
This ant part, you definitely have to translate this with a you. Okay? And then antum means all of
You.
you. You cannot use the word they here.
Mm.
Why not? Because the word they doesn't have what in it?
And
It doesn't have you in it.
yeah.
But the moment you have ant being used,
Mhm. It has a you.
it has to have a you.
Okay.
What happens in our head is when we see antum as many, the first word that comes in our head is they.
Say.
That's millions of students make the same mistake. They think of antum and they think of they. But you have to get used to antum meaning
Y'all.
y'all. Yeehaw. Okay. Anta, you.
And say.
Antuma, both of you.
Both of you.
Antum,
Y'all.
y'all. Anti,
And
anti. That's the girl version of you. Mariam, if I was talking to you, I wouldn't say anta. That would be offensive. I would say anti. And if I was talking to Ahmed, I would use anta. Okay. So anta is for a male and anti is for a
Auntie.
female. The way
So
I used to
auntie-
remember that is auntie is a female. So auntie.
Yeah.
So I'm calling you an auntie when I say Auntie Mariam. Auntie Mariam. I meant Auntie Mariam. Okay.
Alright.
You are Mariam. So auntie is the you, but we don't have a girl version of you
Arabic.
English.
in English,
Oh.
right? So some of my students came up with Yushi.
Oh yeah, I remember Yushi.
Yushi. Or some others came up with Shiu.
See you.
But none of those are actual English. But if you say, I traveled in so many different communities. I taught this basic level of Arabic maybe 200 times.
Wow.
Okay. And literally more than maybe almost 100,000 people, like all over the world, right? Different places in the world. And sometimes the crowd, I have two of you in front of me now. Sometimes when I was teaching this class, there was like 500 people in front of me or 1,000 people in front of me, or, it was crazy, right? Or 100 people in small groups, even 80 people. But someone, whenever I asked, what does anti mean? Someone always said Yushi. I didn't say it. Somebody in the crowd came up with it somewhere in the ummah. So I gave up and I said, you know what? All over the Muslim world, in our head somewhere, Yushi exists.
Yushi.
So I accepted Yushi as a translation because it seemed to be ijma' of the ummah on Yushi.
So you never knew who it was? It was just
It was always someone always came up with Yushi.
like
Okay.
all over?
Yeah. I was like, okay, fine. I'll eat some sushi and I'll accept Yushi. That's okay. All right. So anti is the feminine you or Yushi.
Yushi, yeah.
Antuma, both of you.
Both of you.
Antum or antunna, the last one. Antunna. Notice antunna is kind of like hunna. Remember that gave
Yeah.
us a hard time?
Mhm.
Hunna is them ladies
Mhm.
and antunna is y'all ladies.
Y'all ladies.
So whenever you see the double N at the end, the unna,
Unna.
that's for ladies.
Okay.
So the difference between hunna above and antunna below is that hunna above was for them ladies
Some ladies.
and antunna at the bottom is for y'all
Y'all
ladies.
ladies.
Now the ones you memorized were huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. Now you're gonna do anta, antuma, antum. Say it.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Good. Not that hard. Anta, antuma, antum.
Yes.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Anti, antuma, antunna.
Anti, antuma, antin.
Good. Anta, antuma, antum.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Anti, antuma, antunna.
Anti,
Anti,
antuma,
antuma,
antum.
Guys that are folks that are watching this online, all of you have to say this out loud with me for this to sink into your own minds. If you're passively listening, it's not going to be remembered. You have to make noise. You have to, and I can't gauge that from you. So you have to do this. And of course, if you memorized it, send me videos. Arabic@bayyinah.com. I'd love to see it. Okay. Anta, antuma, antum.
Antum,
Anta,
antuma,
antuma,
antum.
Anti, antuma, antunna.
Anti, antuma, antunna.
Let's try to say this. You can look at it and say it 5 times with me, okay? Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. 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 One more. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. So I would like for you to volunteer to me. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna.
Oh, this is what you were saying this yesterday, right?
I was not.
Oh goodness.
He says a lot of stuff.
I say a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me help you.
Oh, that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Antum, antuma,
Oh, anta.
anta, antuma.
Start over. When you make a mistake, you start over.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Antum, antuma, antum.
Anta.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Start over. You messed up.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Antum,
Nope, not antum. Anta.
anta, antuma, antum.
Start over.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma,
Yes.
antunna.
Yes, too slow. Start over. It was perfect though.
Okay. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna.
Yeah, why is the car slowing down at the end? It's pulling up in a driveway.
Yeah.
Anti, antuma, antunna. Go, one more time. You got it.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna.
Oh, you said antunna twice. Again, I need
What?
perfect.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum.
Maybe the antu, anta. No. Flawless victory. I need flawless. I need flawless.
Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna.
That's it. Wow.
Took me so many
That
tries.
was good. That was solid.
Huwa, huma, hum.
I heard that. Nope. Start over.
Huwa, huma, hum.
I don't want to hear home. I want to hear home. So start over.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Yes.
Here, is it here or?
Mm-hmm.
Here, huma, hunna.
Yep. Now you know you're gonna start over.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. How to start again?
Huwa.
Oh, huwa, huma, hun.
Home.
Huwa, huma, hum.
You sound angry.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Yeah.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Yeah.
Here, huma, hunna.
Mm-hmm.
Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma,
Tunna.
antunna.
Okay.
Start over.
From the beginning.
Oh, you know. Yes. You already know.
What was the
Huwa, huma, hum.
huwa, huma, hum. Here, huma, hunna.
Yeah, that was too much hesitation. So start over.
Huwa, huma, hun.
Hun is not a word. I think that was in Mulan or something. The Huns.
Here, huma, hum.
No, we didn't start with Hia.
Oh.
Hua.
Huwa, huma, hum.
Yes.
Here, huma, hunna.
Yes.
Anta, antuma, antum.
Yes.
Anti, antuma, antunna.
Epic. Great job. Great job.
That was-
Fantastic. We missed it. Yeah, totally missed it. Huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antuma antum, anti antuma antunna. And the last 2 words are ana nahnu. Say those words.
Ana nahnu.
I won't make you memorize that. I expect you to remember it easily. Ana nahnu, okay? All the words you just memorized are what status?
Rafa.
Okay. Huwa means he. Huma means, remember, you say 3 words at a time.
Yeah.
First one's always one person. Second one's always 2 people. Third one's always more than 2 people.
Yeah.
Right? So huwa means he.
He.
Now you can guess the meanings. You don't have to memorize them because 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
Huwa means he. Huma means both of them. Hum means they. Hiya means she. Huma means both of them. Hunna means them ladies, because it was one she that became them ladies, right?
Yeah.
Anta means you. Antuma means both of you. Antum means all of y'all. Anti means Yushimitsu. Antuma means both of you. And Antunna means y'all ladies. Y'all ladies. Ana means I. And Nahnu means we. Nahnu means we, okay? Those are your pronouns. And they are always what status?
Rafa.
They're always rafa status. One last time so I can feel better about myself. You're going to say them out loud with me. Keep up with me. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, anta. Start over. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, start over. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu.
I said I. Definition. I or
Nahnu.
nahnu.
Ana, nahnu.
Ana nahnu.
Right. Ana is I and nahnu is
We.
we. Again, the status of all of them is what?
He.
Rafa.
The status of all of them is how many properties does an ism have?
4.
Two of them are always the same.
Yeah.
For these guys, status is always rafa and the type is always proper.
Okay.
Okay, so the only two other properties left are what? Number and
Type.
number and gender.
No, gender. and
Because
type.
type is always what?
Common.
Mm-mm.
Proper.
Type is always proper. Status is always rafa.
Rafa.
So when you're reading in the Quran, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, right? You
Yeah.
hear the word huwa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
rafa. What's the type? Proper. Because pronouns are always proper.
Yeah.
In your notes, I made a list of 7 things that are proper.
Yeah.
One of those things was actually pronouns.
Okay.
These guys. Any one of them, if you see them, automatically the answer is proper. Okay? So 2 things are permanent. They're always rafa and they're always proper. Okay? Now, these words, they are broken up the way I want you to think about them. I don't just want you to memorize these words. I want you to think about them. I made you memorize them 3 at a time, right? Why 3 at a time? The first one's always 1, the second one's always 2, and the third one's always 3.
Yeah.
And so if you know the meaning of the first one,
Mm-hmm.
then double that meaning and then triple that meaning.
Okay.
So if it's he, then he times 2 is 2 guys, so both of them, and he times many is many people, which means they. Then it's she, hiya, both of those women, and then them women, them ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then if it's you, anta, then it's both of antuma is both of you, and then antum is all of you. And anti is the feminine you, antuma is the feminine both of you, both you women, and antunna is you women plural. And then ana nahnu is I and we. Easy, right? And the we can be used for one person, 2 people, or 2 people or more people.
So
Right?
if you see like hunna, you're always just gonna know, that's Rafa.
That's rafa. Easy.
Okay.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Anna is rafa and it's proper. Okay?
So you just gotta find the 2 gender and
And let's talk about that. Well, if I ask you about huwa, how many people is that?
Hua, that's
That's one.
1.
So you already know the number.
Oh, okay.
And huwa, is that a guy or a girl?
That's
He.
He.
That's he. So
Masculine?
it's masculine.
So you already know the gender. Actually, automatically, you know all 4 properties every time.
Wow.
You don't even have to like analyze nothing. If you because you know the meaning, you already know all 4 properties. 2 of them are permanent,
Yeah.
and the other 2 are common sense. So, like for example, anta, right?
Yeah.
So it's rafa because they're all rafa.
Yeah.
It's proper because they're all proper. It's singular because it's one you,
Yeah.
and it's for a guy because the girl version is
Anti.
anti, so it's masculine. Done. All 4 properties: status, number, gender, and type.
Okay. So
Straightforward.
yeah. So if like I see somebody, I'll be like I see a guy, Ante, come here. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's my brother.
Okay. Hey, ya ant.
Yeah.
Ya anta.
Yeah. Ante.
You can do that. You can do that in Arabic. Okay.
Slowly but surely.
Okay. Now, what version are they always? What status are they?
Rafa.
Good. But there is such a thing as nasab and jar too, isn't there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
I mean, in
Oh,
Arabic.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Arabic there is. Yeah.
So what they did was they decided that these words, these rougher ones,
Mm-hmm.
we call them independent pronouns.
Independent.
That's their name. That's their official name for this class. What are they called?
Independent.
Independent pronouns. you'll understand why they're called independent pronouns in a sec, but independent pronouns are always rafa, right? Now, the independent pronouns are written independently. They're written by themselves. Each one of them has a
Ustadh,
cousin.
we can't see the screen.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So each one of these independent pronouns has a cousin.
Yeah.
That cousin is not an independent version. That's called an attached version. What version?
Attached.
Okay. When you see the independent version, which is what you memorized, they're all rafa. When you see the cousin, the attached version, that can only be nasab or
Jar.
jar. That's what they're for.
Okay.
So the independent ones are for rafa and the attached ones are for nasab or
Jar.
jar. A question that the student that represents the entire ummah will ask, how am I supposed to know when it's nasab or jar? Relax.
Calm down.
Just take a breath, ummah, and just breathe. We will learn this in time. Okay? But right now, I want you to know that each one of them has a cousin. Huwa has a cousin, Huma has a cousin, Huma has a cousin, Hiya, Huma, Huna, and you got to know each one's cousin. Okay? So let me introduce you to these cousins. Huwa, his attached version is Hu. Let me change the font so it looks a little nicer. Much better. Huwa, the cousin is what?
Who?
If you, and Huwa, I called it attached, right?
Yeah.
You know what that means? It comes at the end of a word. It's not written, it's never written by itself. So for example, we say Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Okay? That who at the end, that's an attached version of huwa. Okay?
Yeah.
If you see who, that can only be what status?
Nasab or jar.
Nasab or jar. Do we care about the ending sound anymore?
No.
Because if we went by ending sound, we would say that it's rafa.
Yeah.
We don't care. Pronouns don't care.
Okay.
They only care about two things. Are you independent or are you attached? If you were independent, I would say that you're rafa. If you were attached, I would say that you can only be nasab or jar. Good. Now,
So like
who's Hua's cousin?
Who?
Who. What was the next word after Hua?
Huma.
Homa has an identical cousin, Homa. So you don't even have to learn something new.
Okay.
Hom has an identical cousin. You don't have to learn anything new. The only new cousin you had to learn was Hua becomes what?
Who?
Who. Okay? Now, Hia has a cousin who laughs a lot. Ha. She's funny. Ha. Okay?
Yeah.
Hia has a funny cousin.
Yeah.
Okay? Hua has a confused cousin. He's always asking, who?
Who?
Okay?
Okay.
And Hia has a funny cousin.
Ha.
Ha. Okay? And then Homa, identical cousin.
Huma.
Homa. And Hunna, identical cousin.
Hunna.
Hunna. Did you have to learn much?
No.
Okay, let me ask you. I'll say the original version. You'll say the attached version.
Okay.
Hua.
Who?
Homa.
Huma.
Hom.
Hum.
Hia.
Ha.
Ha.
Remember she's funny?
Yeah.
Ha.
Ha.
Homa.
Huma.
Hunna.
Hunna.
You know all the cousins. You know the first 6 cousins. Now let me show you the next 6 cousins. It's super easy. Anta.
Anta.
Anta ends with ta, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, the Arabs decided that the cousin should rhyme with ta, except should be with the letter K. So instead of ta, they made it into what?
Ka.
Ka. So the way anta ends, anta becomes ka.
Ka.
Now check this out. Antuma, right? Ends with tuma. So they just said to keep tuma, but just make it with a K. Kuma.
Kuma.
So antuma is
Ka.
kuma.
Oh, kuma.
So just hear the end and repeat it with a K.
Okay.
So anta becomes Ka.
Ka.
because you heard the ta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anta becomes
Coma.
no. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Don't look. Listen now. Anta
Becomes ka.
becomes ka. It's about your ear. Antuma becomes
Coma.
Oh, kuma.
kuma. Just rhyme it. Antum becomes.
And
You don't need the an anymore.
come.
Just kum.
Come.
Let's start over. Anta
Becomes ka.
becomes ka. Antuma
Becomes kuma.
becomes kuma. Antum
And tom.
Becomes come.
Come.
kum. Anti becomes
Kanti.
anti.
Anti.
You don't need the an anymore.
Anti.
Kinti?
You're making it too hard on yourself. What did you do with anta?
Anta.
Anta became.
Ka.
So anti should become
Ki. Oh,
That's it.
ki.
Oh, okay.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Let's start over. Anta becomes
Ka.
Ka.
good. Don't need the screen, just your ears. Right now, you just need the ears. Anta becomes
Ka.
ka. Antuma becomes
Koma.
koma. Antum becomes
Kum.
kum. Anti becomes
Ki.
Ki.
good. Antuma becomes
Tum.
Kum.
Or kum.
listen carefully. Antuma becomes
Koma.
that's it. Antunna becomes
Kumma.
Kumma.
kunna.
Kunna.
Tunna became kunna,
Kunna,
right? So
yeah.
Antunna became
Kunna.
kunna. Okay, let's start over. Hua becomes.
Hua becomes who?
Yep, Hua becomes his cousin who? Huma,
Homa.
Hum. Hua.
identical cousins.
Yeah.
Huma.
Hum.
Sorry.
Okay, my fault. Hua becomes
Who.
who? Huma becomes
Humma.
hum becomes
Humma.
hum.
Hum.
Hum becomes hum. Stays the same. Hia becomes
He. Or ha.
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 Yeah.
Huma becomes
Humma.
good. Huma. Hunna
Hunna.
Na.
stays hunna. Anta
Becomes
Ka.
ka.
good. Antuma
Becomes
Koma.
koma.
kuma. Antum
Antum.
And kum.
Kum.
kum, not ankum.
Kum.
Just kum.
Yeah. Kum.
Anti
Ki.
Ki.
good. Ki. Antuma
Antuma.
Koma.
kuma. Antunna
Antum.
Kumma. Or kum.
Kunna.
Kunna.
antunna
Kunna.
good. Good. So you memorized hua huma hum. Hiya huma hunna. Anta antuma antum. Anti antuma antunna. Ana nahnu. Then hua becomes who. Huma huma. Hum hum. Hiya ha. Huma huma. Hunna hunna. Anta ka. Antuma kuma. Antum kum. Antiki. Antuma kuma. Antunna kunna. Ana ni or i nahnuna. The last two I didn't tell you. Ana becomes ni or e. Say that for me.
Ni or e.
So you get two of those.
Yeah.
What's that on the
It's the only
screen?
one. Oh yeah. So ana you get ni or e.
E.
Okay, ni or e, and nahnu becomes na. Nahnu becomes what?
Na.
Now okay, let's do this oral exercise again. Okay, I'll keep nahnu on the screen. I will say the original. You will say the attached.
Okay.
Okay, I will switch. We'll take turns. So
Okay.
one for you, Ahmed, and one for you, Maryam.
Okay.
Okay. Hua,
Who?
huma,
Homa.
hum,
Hum.
hiya,
Ha.
huma,
Humma.
hunna,
Hunna.
anta,
Anta. Anta. Ka.
antuma.
Kunna. Or koma.
Listen carefully. Antuma.
Koma.
Good. Antum.
Antum. Kum.
Good. Anti.
And T. That become ki.
Good. Antuma.
Koma.
Antunna.
Kunna.
Yes. Ana. That was a new one.
Ana.
You get two of them.
Yeah or ni?
Ni or e. We'll just say ni or e. Nahnu.
Na.
Excellent. Those are the attached versions.
Okay.
What's the difference between the independent version and the attached version? The independent versions are always what status?
Rafa.
And the attached versions are always what status?
Nasab or jar.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the ridiculous joke that I will never get tired of. It's not really a joke, it's a true story.
True story.
Yeah, true story. I had an uncle in Pakistan who called me and said, "Ya Nouman, you watch so many American movies, right?" I was like, "Not really." He says, "But there's one actor I can't find picture anywhere." He wanted a picture of an American actor.
Okay.
I was like, "Just, okay, fine. Tell me his name." He said, "Theend." Like, what? His name is Theend. I was like, "Okay." He said, I'll send you the spelling. He can't find this actor. He's in every movie. Theend.
Tink.
What do you think he's talking about?
The end.
The end.
The end.
Because, you know, at the end of the movie, it says
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't find Theend anywhere. What was his problem? He thought this was what?
An actor.
Bigger than that. He thought this was one word.
One word.
Okay.
Oh.
It was two words, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the
Yeah.
end.
Okay, well, here's why I told you this ridiculous story. You see that? Looks like one word.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's two.
It's actually two words. And now you know that there's something called attached pronouns and you memorize them.
Mm-hmm.
And now your job is going to become to recognize them.
Okay.
Now, I said the original
Mm-hmm.
and you gave me the attached. Remember?
Mhm.
We're going to go backwards. I'll say the cousin and you'll give me the original.
Okay.
Who?
Hum.
Who?
Who
Hum.
is?
Huma.
No, it's not Huma.
It's who?
Who is it?
Hua. It's Hua.
Hua.
You
Hua.
said you
Yeah.
said who?
Who, the cousin,
Yeah.
is originally
Hua.
Hua. Huma,
Hum.
Huma.
hum,
Huma.
Hum.
Oh,
Hum.
hum.
hum. Ha,
Ha.
What is that one? The female one. What was it called?
Here.
that's it.
Yeah.
Ha is actually, the original is what?
Here.
Mhm. Huma,
Huma.
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 hunna,
Hunna.
ka.
Cow.
Key or no?
No, ka. It'll rhyme with ka. The
Ka.
end of it will rhyme with ka.
What was it called? There was
Anta.
Good.
Anta. Okay. Yeah.
Ka will become
Anta.
anta. It came from antaka. So it's basically you take the ka and replace it with the letter T and say it again.
Okay.
So if I say, where did ka come from? You say to yourself, ka, which means ta. Oh, anta. Kuma.
Antuma.
Good. You got the idea.
Yeah.
Antuma. Kum.
Antum.
Antum. Antum. Ki.
What is key
Auntie.
Anti.
then? Oh, auntie. Yeah.
Kuma.
Kum.
Antuma.
Kuma.
Antuma.
Antuma.
Yeah.
Kunna.
Antunna.
Antunna. Ni or e?
Ni or e.
That's
Na.
Anna.
Ana.
Ana.
Na.
Nahnu.
Nahnu. In other words, I need you to be able to go backwards and forwards.
Okay.
You got to memorize page 18.
Yeah.
You got to know the meaning of every word on page 18.
Okay.
You got to know the originals of page 18. You got to know the attached versions of page 18. And you got to know them backwards and forwards. So if I give you a cousin, you can tell me the original. If I give you the original, you can tell me the cousin.
Okay.
Okay? Now let me show you something. Pick a surah.
قولي على الكافرون.
Pick a longer surah.
Abasa.
Okay, Abasa.
Oh yeah. This is right.
This is Surah Abasa. No, there was an error. It didn't give me the whole surah. I got to report that to the developers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
عبس وتولى
عبس وتولى أن جاء.
Oh.
Ooh.
Who?
It's like
Ooh.
هو.
Who's that cousins with?
هو.
That's right.
Yeah.
الأعمى وما يدري.
Ka.
Ka. Who's that cousins with?
أنت.
أنت. لعل.
Who?
Who comes from
هو.
هو أو يذكر فتنفع. Who comes from هو. أما من استغنى فأنت. Did you do this word?
أنت.
Anta is the
Yeah.
original, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does anta mean?
أنت she.
That's
No.
here.
أنت.
Anta. Both of them.
both of them.
Nuh-uh.
They.
I can't remember.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Anta
That means-
means you.
Oh, you.
Antuma means both of you.
you.
Antum means all of you. You know what that means? You've got to do review with homework and really get the meanings of the pronouns down and the memorization of them down. I can start you off, but you're going to make it solid on your own, okay? Anta means you, but it is one of those you memorize, right?
Yeah.
Who,
It's who.
lahu,
Yeah.
the who and lahu. Where does that come from?
هو.
Huwa. Wama alay.
Ka.
Ka comes from where?
أنت.
Anta. Wa amma man ja'aka.
Anta.
Anta yas'a wa huwa. Is that familiar?
Yeah.
That's
That's the proper.
That's he.
Yes, he. Huwa yakhsha. Fa anta.
فأنت. Oh yeah, that's
Who? Oh yeah.
that's you.
You. Very good. Anta antum antum. You, both of you, all of you. An who.
And who? That's like who.
That's right. It's the attached version. Kalla innaha. Ooh, ha? Ha? I've never heard of ha before ever in my life.
Ha.
Have I?
Ha.
Ha. Funny. Ha.
Ha.
Oh,
Ah, that's funny.
Here.
Here.
Good. Here. فمن شاء ذكره.
That's who.
هو. في صحف مكرمة مرفوعة مطهرة بأيدي سفرة كرام بررة قتل الإنسان ما أكفره هو من أي شيء خلقه هو من نطفة خلقه هو فقدره هو ثم السبيل يسره ثم أماته فأقبره ثم إذا شاء أنشره كلا لما يقض ما أمره
So many who's.
Yeah. Let's see. فأنبتنا فيها
That's like ha.
ها
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
وزيتونا ونخلا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وأبا متاعا لكم
Lakum.
كم
Or like
Antum.
كم.
Antum.
If anta means you and antuma means
Both
both of
of you.
you and antum
Means they.
nah
All of you. All of you.
all of you
all of you.
that's the cousin of all of you
Oh,
kum antum kum right
Mm-hmm.
wali an'ami
Come.
kum أنتم فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. Okay, so we'll deal with this subject now before I take questions from you, Jawad. Okay, you see how many?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. It's like a lot of it.
Yep. Short surah, Surah Al-Kawthar. Yeah.
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 Let's see if you find any pronouns in Surah Al-Kawthar at all.
Kautar's 3 ayahs. There's like 3 ayahs, and like there's only 3 surahs with 3 ayahs, but
Mhm.
like there's only like one that's like very short. It's the surah.
Okay. Inna,
No.
Nah.
is that a pronoun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Ana.
Anna.
Anna is near E.
Oh,
Near-
it's the who's
Ana.
the
Last one.
An-
Nahnu
oh, nahnu.
becomes
Na.
na. Inna a'tainaka.
Ka.
That's
That's
here or hua.
It's not
No.
hua, no.
Oh, it's not hua.
Hua becomes
An-
who.
Antuma.
Antuma would be kuma.
Oh, and
It's got a rhyme.
Antum.
Antum would be kum because it would rhyme with antum.
Anta.
Anta would be
Yeah,
ka.
anta,
You
yeah.
see it?
yeah.
Okay. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّي ka, which would come from
Anta.
anta. وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَ
Ka.
ka.
Anta.
Hua.
Hua. That is.
That's the original one. That's the
Yeah.
independent one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So the bunch of attached ones, and there's an original one,
Mhm.
right? If they are attached, the status can only be
No subject.
nasab or jar. If they are independent, the status is always
Rafa.
rafa. Okay. So huwa. Let's do this together. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu. Ana, nahnu. Very good. Okay. So inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwal abtar. I'll take questions before I do the he concept. Jawad, if there's a he question, then skip it. Otherwise, tell me.
How can we tell the gender for ana and nahnu?
You can't. Context. If Allah is talking about somebody, if Maryam is speaking and she says ana, then you're not going to be confused. So the context will tell you. You don't have to worry about the gender. The
Okay.
story, which story is it, will determine. Okay.
So hum and antum can be used for men and women. Can
Yes.
hua and anta also be used like that?
Huwa and anta are singular, so you can't make one person a man and a woman at the same time. So huwa and anta can only be used for males, but the plurals, maybe they're referring to the pairs, and they said it wrong. The pairs could be a man and a woman, like antuma could be one man and one woman. Allah uses antuma for Adam and Hawa, for example, and He also uses it for 2 men, like Musa and Harun. And huma is used for the 2 wives of the prophets Nuh and Lut. So huma can be used for a man and a woman. Huma can be used for 2 men or 2 women, like that. But the singulars are clear. Other questions?
Yes, in the word inna, there's a lot of confusion because inna is supposed to be harf nasab, so how can that also be a pronoun?
So inna is a pronoun, right? And what's its job? Its job is to make the next word nasab.
Yeah.
And nahnu is the original pronoun, which means we. But you cannot use nahnu with inna because nahnu is what status? All the original pronouns are rafa status. Inna cannot accept something rafa. Inna has to take something nasab. So what's the nasab version of nahnu?
Nah.
No, nahnu becomes na. Nahnu becomes na. And we call it the attached version because it literally gets attached. So it becomes what? Innana. Innana. That's how you say certainly we. Okay. Now, the Arabs said innana so many times that they made it acceptable to say the two ends together and just make it inna. So inna is just a short way of saying innana. And in the Quran, you find innana and you also find inna. Both of them are okay to say. Because that's where the inna and inna a'tainaka al-kawthar comes from. It's not one word. If it was just harf of nasab, it would just be inna. Where is the alif coming from? The alif came from na, which is from nahnu. And the only reason that was used is nahnu you can't use with inna. The same way, if you wanted to say inna and anta together, right? You can't because anta is the rafa version. Inna can only accept the nasab version. What's the nasab version of anta? Means the attached version. What's the attached version of anta? Good, ka. And because it's called the attached version because it literally gets attached. Innaka. That's why you read innaka in the Quran. Okay. Other questions?
Yeah, the last one is for the word fa'anta, how can anta be attached?
Okay, fa'anta. There are some words in Arabic like fa and la, and there's a very small group that basically have no grammatical effect. They are neutral. They can float on anything and sit on anything. And fa is one of those words. So fa can just be there and have no impact grammatically and force the word to change. It's still considered independent. Okay, so some letters are like that, and you'll obviously what you're learning at this level doesn't answer all the questions about the text of the Quran. The Quran's text is complex stuff, but we'll get there one step at a time, right? But still, anta is considered an independent pronoun. If it was the attached pronoun, it would only be the ka version. Okay, go ahead. Other questions before I go on?
Somebody's asking if we can't say inna with nahnu, then what about when we read inna nahnu nazzalna, for example?
Okay. Sure. Inna. Let's see. Let's put that ayah together. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhuna. Okay, that's the ayah. Yeah. And somebody asked, you said you cannot put nahnu next to inna, but look, I found an ayah in the Quran. It's there. It's not there. What's the harf of nasab?
Harf of nasab?
Yes. What are the harf of nasab?
Inna.
Good. The first one is inna, right?
Anna.
Do you see inna here or inna here?
Inna.
That's not inna.
Yeah.
That's inna plus an alif. Isn't it?
Yes.
Which means it's not just inna. It's inna and the ism of inna. Remember ismu inna?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is next to inna? Inna was going to have nahnu next to it. Right?
Yeah.
But you cannot put inna and nahnu. Like I said, you can't put them together. You can only put the nasab version of nahnu there. What's the nasab version of nahnu?
Nahnu is na.
Good. Na. And so you have to put those two together. And that becomes what?
Innana.
Innana. And a like a brief or cooler version of saying it is what? Inna, which is what you find in the ayah. So inna is actually inna plus nahnu, inna plus na together.
Yeah.
Became inna. But then separately, there's another nahnu in the ayah. So how many times did Allah use the word we in this ayah?
Twice.
He used it twice. He said, this part doesn't mean certainly. This part means certainly we. And then he said again, we. And then there's a third one, which you'll learn later on. There's another we in here. It's as if Allah said the word we 3 times. He's saying, without a doubt, we sent down the reminder. You see how Allah is talking?
Yeah.
Like Allah is talking about who sent down the Quran, the reminder. And he says, you think someone else sent that down?
Yeah.
It was me. When does someone talk like that?
When they're angry.
Yeah. And when they're pounding, when they're like making a point that should go like pierce through your heart like an arrow. So he said, no doubt about it. We sent down the Quran. Oof. And then he says, wa inna, and certainly we just did that one, right?
Yeah.
Lahu lahafidhun. We will guard it, especially. We will be the ones to guard it. You think you can change it? You think you can make it disappear? You think you can eradicate it from the face of the earth? Try me. It's like that from Allah. Like it's such a powerful ayah where there's we's multiple times, right? But we recite it like there's no explosions inside the ayah, and we're like, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. And you're like, so nice. Feels good. Yeah, it does. But it's supposed to shake you up because
So they're supposed to kind of recite it angrily?
no, you're not, but you're supposed to actually appreciate Allah's authority. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. And when you read that, it just dawns on you, what is Allah saying about His Quran? What is Allah saying? And it's so powerful that He didn't say Quran here. He said a-dhikra is one of the names. Yeah, the reminder. Why? As if Allah is saying, I reminded, and you forget. You realize who's the one sending this reminder? That you can take it lightly? It's not your phone going off reminding you of game time. It's not some small reminder. You think this reminder came from somewhere less important? We're the ones who sent it. We're the ones who sent it. We're the ones who sent it.
What does he mean by where? Like,
We
Yeah.
We is used by Allah when He is describing Himself as a king.
Oh, okay.
Ancient times, the kings used to speak about themselves and say, we have spoken.
Oh, okay.
You dare challenge our empire?
Yeah, because I used to get confused because I used to read like the translation and said we sent it down. So I
Right.
thought, like,
Now, who is we? How many are there, right? Inshallah, when we get more advanced, we'll discuss we in detail. When is we used in the Quran? When is I used in the Quran? When is he used in the Quran? We're going to compare all of that. I'm preparing you for really beautiful discussions in the Quran. Like, when I give lectures, Surah Yusuf, for khutbahs and things like that, I have to hold back a lot of things that I study because they're not for everybody, because not everybody's studying Arabic, right? So those of you that are going to put the effort into study, then we can discuss some things that aren't easy to discuss for somebody who doesn't have that background. They'll just be lost, right? But when we open this up, like if I sat there in a lecture and started talking about rafa and nasab and jar and pronoun and
people
this,
would be like,
like,
see you later.
that's what your face looks like when I do that sometimes. You're like, right?
Yeah.
That's not fair to them. It's not the place. But for those of you that will become more accustomed to learning these things, and I can start sharing some of this stuff with you that, man, when I first studied it, I was like, wow. And you know what it is? I'll tell you something. Let me give you an example. I have a game on my phone. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Let's see. Crossy Road.
Oh.
Crossy Road. Okay?
Okay.
This is the game, right?
Okay.
My high score, by the way, is 660.
You're sweat.
It's a ridiculous score. Okay, anyway. So this is a game. But behind this game, there's code. The programmer wrote a lot of code. You don't see the code.
Yeah.
You don't see those permutations. You just see the UX, the screen, the skin on top.
Yeah.
What the user sees is not the programming behind it. When I give a lecture and I talk about this word means this, or this ayah means this, or this is how I would translate it, I'm showing you the screen on top, but I'm not discussing in detail what?
The bottom.
The source code.
Yeah.
the programming code.
Mhm.
When you guys study this, then we can study the revelation, and we can also study the source code of the Arabic and discuss how come we translated this way? How come we wouldn't translate it that way? That's why we're doing this. But it's a fantastic question, and it was an opportunity for me to share with you again why this is such a rich study. Learn your pronouns, because a couple of months from now, it'll change your life. It'll absolutely change your life. Pronouns are the backbone of the Arabic language. If the Arabic was a building, then the pillar that's holding the whole building together is pronouns. Your rafa pronouns, your attached pronouns, the rules behind the pronouns, meaning the independent ones are rafa, the attached ones can only be nasab or jar.
Yeah.
Recognizing the pronouns, this is an independent one, this is an attached one. The attached one is cousins with the independent one. The independent one is cousins with the attached one. Identifying them and then translating the pronouns quickly. Man, that will change your life. You'll get so messed up every time somebody's reciting Quran. You'll be like, what? Oh, what? You're gonna hear pronouns all over the place. Now, one last thing I have to share with you. What's Hua's cousin?
Who?
Who? What's Huma's cousin?
Hama.
So I'm just gonna make a list of the H cousins. Who? Huma, Hum, Ha, Huma, and Hunna. Those are the cousins, right? Those are the first 6 cousins,
Mhm.
right? The thing with who is sometimes who is in a good mood and wants to smile.
Yeah.
So sometimes, even though he's who, sometimes he sounds like he.
Yeah. He.
It's still the same thing. It still means it's an attached pronoun. It still means it's cousins with hua. It still means that it could be nasab or jar, because we don't judge these guys by ending sound. But sometimes you'll find who, and sometimes you'll find he. Sometimes the other cousin, Huma, is in a good mood, and he sounds like hima.
Hima.
And sometimes Hum is in a good mood and sounds like
Hima.
him.
Not him.
Ha is always ha. She's like, I'm already happy, so I don't need to be I'm already in a good mood. So I don't need to worry about me. Huma can sometimes sound like hima, and hunna can sometimes sound like henna. It doesn't change the meaning. It doesn't change the grammar. It just sounds happier sometimes.
Okay.
That's all it is. So if you keep that in mind, let's listen to the Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك
Ka.
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 What's Ka?
Ka is you.
Yes. نعبد وإياك.
Ka.
Ka comes from what original pronoun?
Anta.
Good. Ka إياك أنت نستعين. إهدي
Nas.
na. It's actually na, but then it connects to us. But na comes from where?
Na. Na. It comes from.
نحن
Good. We. نحن na. الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Him is the happy version
Yes.
of which cousin?
Hum.
Hum.
yeah.
So they.
Right? غير المغضوب عليهم
Him.
ولا الضالين. Pronouns in even Surah Al-Fatiha.
So you can, if you know the pronouns and their meaning, you can find one word and say if it's like they.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then it starts popping open.
Yeah.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربي.
Ka.
What's ka?
Anta. That's you.
Yeah, you.
You.
واستغفره.
Who?
He.
That's
He.
he.
إنه.
No. Who is he?
He كان توابا. كان.
He was talking about somebody.
Yeah, he's talking about him.
Oh, him.
He's talking about himself.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about himself. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
Your ears will start getting used to pronouns.
Yeah. That just unlocked 10 million things in my brain.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
That's why I said it's the what? The pillar of Arabic.
Yeah.
Right? Pronouns are the pillar of Arabic. I want you guys to be able to make the most of the last half hour of class today. I was going to do the fragments 4 and 5, but I'm not going to do that. I want you to practice the pronouns some more.
Okay.
And there's some concepts regarding the pronouns that I want to teach you in the next half hour. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes downtime, recalibrate, and come back, and we'll finish up strong, okay? All right, good job.
Wow, that's
You want to take
crazy.
over for questions?
Oh my gosh! Now it's really tight.
All right. Let's see. The Reba class is not over yet. We have 30 minutes left, inshallah. Who was asking? Aisha. There is no change in the meaning if you say who or he. Um, you say who or he depending on what's coming before it. But either way, who and he both mean he. Hum and him both mean them. There's no change in the meaning that way. Inna and nahnu can't be together because inna, remember, is a harf of nasab. That means that whatever comes after it, it has to make that word nasab. And nahnu is always rafa'. Nahnu is always rafa'. All of the original pronouns are always rafa'. We can't make them nasab. That's why we have the attached version. The attached versions can be nasab or jar, but the original versions are always rafa'. So when we want to use inna with a pronoun or any of the other harf nasabs with a pronoun, inna, anna, ka'anna, and so on, same thing with the harf jar, bata, kaf, lam, waw, so on. When we want to use one of those with a pronoun, then we use the attached version. So that's why we don't say inna nahnu, we say inna or innana, because we have to use the nasab or jar version. I hope that answered the question. If we're talking about Shaira, I hope I pronounced the name right. If we're talking about a group of mixed boys and girls, then we always use the masculine version. The feminine version, hunna and antunna, are only used for only girls. If you have even one boy in that group, then you have to use the masculine version. Amna, I didn't understand your question. Merciful soldier, you are correct. Tasmiyah, we never want to get used to saying always. Um, there's never going to be a rule that's always the case. There's always exceptions to a rule. So don't try to find things that are always true. We're talking about the things that are mostly true. So kaf at the end, a lot of the time it will be a pronoun, but it won't always be a pronoun. For those of you who still haven't understood inna with nahnu, I think we've gone over it 3 or 4 times. So please go back in the video and just listen to that part again, inshallah, so we don't have to keep explaining it over and over. Muhtasim, you can tell the difference between a cousin pronoun and an original pronoun because the original pronouns will always be by themselves. The cousin pronouns will always be attached to something. Felix, ka cannot change to ki because if you change ka to ki, then you're changing the gender. Ka is masculine. It means you when you're talking to a man or a guy, a boy. But ki is feminine, and you use that when you're talking to a girl. Aisha in Alhamdulillahi, that ha is not a pronoun. That is part of the word Allah. The word Allah ends in the letter ha. Abdullah, we use hum and him depending on the sound that comes before it. So if the sound before it is u, then we would use hum. Or if the sound before it is a, we would use hum. We use him when the sound before it is e. So like rabbihim, but we would say rabbahum and rabbuhum. I hope that made sense. For those of you who need to review the pronouns, I believe the table for pronouns is on page 18 of the notes. Page 18 of the notes. So Hana will know for attached pronouns, how can we tell the difference between nasab or jar? We don't know how to do that yet. And that's something that we're going to learn coming up. For those of you still asking about the notes, you should see a link at the bottom of the screen, dreamworldwide.net/study resource. If you follow that link and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see a download link for the workbook and the workbook answer key. Also, I see a lot of you guys asking about surahs that Ustad wants you to memorize. Ustad wasn't saying he wants you guys to memorize surahs. He was saying that there are certain concepts that you need to memorize. Like we memorized the Muslim chart, right? Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. We also memorized the harf of jar, the harf of nasab, and now we memorize the pronouns. That's what he was referring to. In order to move forward, these things that we're memorizing, you need to know them very, very well. So that's what he was talking about. Imad, pronouns can be used for non-living things, yes. Huda, that is correct. If you see E, then you're going to be using the happy versions for the pronouns. So you could say Rabbihi, you could say Rabbihima, or Rabbihim, or Rabbihin. Yusuf, Siddiqui, yeah, that's fine. You can do that, inshallah. For those of you who want to send pictures and audio and videos, I believe the email for that was arabic@bayyinah.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Any outstanding questions, Jawad?
I think we got the main concepts. There's some things that we've already covered a couple of times that keep coming up, and I tried to address those as well. But the
Like what?
inna with
What keeps coming
nahnu
up?
concept is something that came up a couple times.
Okay. Maybe people missed the recording of it, or the part of it that they didn't attend, or
Yeah,
they saw it and they're still
I
confused.
told them to. I explained it one more time, and then I said to just go back into the recording and look over it. Also, can you say the
Okay.
email one more time for them to
Okay.
send videos to?
Yeah. So the Arabic at bayyinah.com is my email address. So you can send me. A couple of you already sent me actually. What's his name? Zubair. Let me see my phone. Where did I put it? I put it by the table over there. Can you go grab and get it? It's really cool. I believe his name is Zubair. He wrote from Wuhan, China. He's taking the class from there, and he sent me a picture of his notes. So cool. And then somebody sent me a dad sent me a picture of the whiteboard where he's drawing up all these notes for his kids. They're and his family, so they're learning together. But he didn't tell me where he's from. It's on the table itself, on this one of the sides. On the.
It's not here.
No?
No.
Okay. Just come back then. It's okay. All right. So now we got to wrap this up. And to wrap this up, the concepts that I want to teach you are just making your understanding of pronouns more comprehensive. The assignment you have today is really just mastering page 18. That's all I need from you is for you to memorize page 18. Huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antuma antum, anti antuma antunna, ana nahnu. You need to remember the rules behind it, that they're all rafa. You need to know the attached versions. Huwa becomes hu, huma is huma, hum is hum, hiya is ha, huma is huma, hunna is hunna. Anta is ka, antuma kuma, antum kum, anti ki, antuma kuma, antunna kunna, ana ni, and nahnuna. Ani or i and nahnuna. And the attached ones can only be nasab or jar, right? So those are the few things I want you to just really own before class tomorrow. So that's all I need you to spend your time on. And are the audio files still not available, Jawad?
They're up. They're
up?
under, like for example, the respective videos. Like under day 2, we have the Muslim chart audio.
I see. So the pronoun one should be up there, right? Because I did make a pronoun video.
The pronoun one's gonna go up today.
Okay, so you guys will see the pronoun audio clip. It's a couple of minute clip or a few seconds clip. Listen to it over and over. Get used to it. Inshallah, you'll get there. Okay. Now I want to share with you a concept. Let's take the word huwa. What status is it? It's rafa. Yeah. And its attached version is hu. Okay. When I talk about hu in this lesson, I'm talking about all of the attached pronouns, but I'm only using hu as the example. So whatever I say about hu works for all the cousins. Homa, hum, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, ni, ina. It works for all of them. Okay. So here's what I want you to know. We learned harf of jar. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Okay. Now, which pronoun we talk about? Who, right? Now, the first harf of jar is B.
B.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't put huwa next to it because huwa is the original pronoun, the independent pronoun, that's rafa.
Yeah.
I can only use the nasab or jar version because B wants a jar word.
Yeah.
So what's the jar version of huwa? It's hu, right? But bihu, say it for me. Bihu. Bihu is too much work.
Yeah.
So who, we're going to use the happier version of it.
Bihi.
Bihi. Remember I said who sometimes sounds like he?
Yeah.
It just sounds nicer this way in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. So bihi is 2 words. The B part is the harf of jar. The he part is the attached pronoun. Again, I want to explain to you why did we use the attached pronoun? Because the attached pronoun can only be nasab or jar. And B wants something jar. So if you want to put a pronoun next to it, then you better put the attached pronoun. Okay, that's what you're going to see. Bihi. Bihi is actually 2 words. Okay, and the second word is the majroor. So bihi is also jar majroor. It doesn't look like your regular jar majroor, but it's still a jar majroor. By the way, what's the cousin of hum? Hum is also hum, and sometimes it sounds nicer to say what? Him, right? So you could say bihim. And then B would be the jar, and the him part would be the majroor. If B means with, and hum means they, right?
With they.
With them.
With them. Oh, okay.
With them. Bihim. And now, what's anta? What does anta become? What's the attached version?
Ka.
Ka. So bika.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
You.
Ba, ta, kaf, lam,
Lam.
right? Lam. You can say laka.
Laka.
Okay. Lam is a weird harf of jar. When it comes with every other ism, it has a li on it.
Yeah.
But when you put it with a pronoun, you put a la on it. Okay, so here's how that works. We say alhamdulillahi. We don't say alhamdulillahi. We say alhamdulillahi. This is a jar majroor. The li part is the harf of jar. The word Allah became jar because of it, right? But if I wanted to say li and then attach the pronoun huwa, of course I can't do huwa anyway. I'm not allowed. I have to use the attached version. What's the attached version?
Lihu.
Hu. But they don't say li. They say lahu.
Lahu.
The way they pronounce that is what? Lahu. Now, let me show you another one. We're going to use la now to attach, right? What's the attached version of antum? Kum. So if I wanted to put, should I say la antum or lakum?
Lakum.
That's why we say lakum dinukum waliyadin. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Okay. Now, so let's see fi, right? Fi. Now, should I say fi huwa?
No.
What should I say?
He.
Fihu.
Fihu. Fihu. Is that easier?
Fihi.
Fihi.
Oh, yeah.
Fihi. Okay. Fihi. Or fihima. Or fihim. Whatever pronoun. Okay. Or fikum. Wa'alamu anna fikum Rasulullah. Notice how it's written like it's one word.
Yeah.
Why? Because literally they're called attached pronouns because they get attached.
Yeah.
Now notice. What are we going to call this? We're going to call this jar
Majroor.
majroor. We're used to calling jar majroor things that look like two words.
Yeah.
But now we're just calling them jar majroor even though they look like one word. This is something you memorized on page 27.
Yeah.
This is something you memorized on page 18, and they kind of came together. Okay, it became jar majroor. Okay. Now, inna.
Inna.
What are inna's cousins? Inna, what else?
Anna.
Anna.
Ka'anna.
Good. Ka'anna.
Bi'anna.
Bi'anna. Layta. Lakinna. And
Layt.
la'alla. Right? You can say innahu.
Innahu.
You can say annahu.
Ka'annahu.
You can say ka'annahu.
Bi'annahu.
You can say bi'annahu. You can say laytahu. You can say lakinnahu. You can also say
La'allahu.
la'allahu yazakkaru aw yakhsha. Right? So la'allahu. Now, what is huwa originally from?
The pronouns.
Right. Which original pronoun? Which the independent pronoun from which
Huwa.
it came? Huwa. Right. You couldn't use huwa because inna wants what version?
The light. Or not the light.
The nasab version.
Nasab.
Because it's a harf of nasab.
Yeah.
If you
There's
use,
a typo in lakinna.
there's a typo
Oh, yeah.
in lakinna. Wait, hold on a second. Where's lakinna again? No, you're mistaken. Just pay attention next time. Lakinnahu. Okay. So innahu, the who
Yeah.
is the attached version of huwa.
Huwa.
Now, what did I tell you? The independent versions are rafa,
Yeah.
and the attached versions can only be
Nasab.
nasab or jar.
Yeah.
The reason you see it like that in Arabic is because inna wants the nasab version.
Yeah.
And the nasab version is who. Now, let me show you this. Do you see an attached pronoun in both of these examples?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't it the case that in one of them is it attached to a harf of jar,
Mhm.
and in the other one it's attached to a harf of nasab?
Yeah.
Didn't you learn that the attached pronoun could be nasab or jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know for sure which one is this and which one is this.
Yeah.
This one is what status?
Jar majroor.
So therefore it's jar.
Yeah.
And this one is ism inna.
Ism who.
So
How do you say it?
remember inna and ism inna?
Ism
I
who?
remember it, but I forgot
Ism
how to say
inna,
it.
yeah.
Inna, ism inna. Yeah,
Ism
whatever
inna.
got beat up and made nasab is called ism inna. Ismu inna.
Ismu inna.
Ism
Right?
inna. Yeah.
So the who part is nasab because it's getting beat up by inna. It's the
Yeah.
ismu inna, right? So even though they look the same, who and who,
Mhm.
one of them is jar and the
Jar.
other one is
Majrur.
nasab.
Yeah, nasab.
Oh,
So
yes,
this who is, you're right, this is jar majroor and this is inna and ismu inna, but the pronoun itself, the who part,
is
one of them is jar and the other one is nasab.
nasab, yeah.
So how do you tell if a pronoun is nasab or jar? Depends what it got attached to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? If it's attached to a harf of jar, it's
It's
jar.
jar.
If it's attached to a harf of nasab,
It's nasab.
it's nasab. But here's the last one. Remember the word kitab?
Yeah.
Okay. This, you need extra brain juice for this one now. This is really the reason I wanted to dedicate a half hour at the end to this.
Okay.
Pay attention to this part, okay? How many words do you see?
I see two.
Good. Kitab and ka.
Yeah.
Kitab and ka.
Ka.
Good. What kind of word is ka?
Ka is a rafa.
Jar.
Ka.
It's jar.
Ka. No, it's not a harf of jar. It's an attached pronoun.
Oh,
Yeah.
The harf of jar come in the beginning.
Oh.
This is attached at the end, right?
Yeah.
If it's attached at the end, it's got to be from page
Oh, I remember
18.
that, yeah.
So what is the original of
Anta.
ka?
And
Anta. What does anta mean?
you.
Good. What status could ka be?
Rafa.
Rafa. No, nasab or jar.
Oh,
The
nasab.
original ones, the independent ones are.
Rafa.
Rafa.
Oh, the other ones are nasab and jar. Yeah.
Okay, so are you in agreement if I say over here, this could be nasab or jar? The ka
Yes.
part.
Yes.
Just the ka part,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not talking about the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Kitabu. Is it light?
Kitabu?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's light. Kitabu, does it have al on it?
No.
That means kitabu might be a
Mudaf.
mudaf. Okay. What is the definition of mudaf? The word that comes before the of, right? And the rules for the mudaf are it's light and it doesn't have al. But you can never call something a mudaf until you can show that the next word is
Mudaf ilayh.
mudaf ilayh. Well, what's the next word?
Kitab-
Ka.
Or ka, yeah.
The next word is ka.
Ka, yeah.
Could ka be, and if ka is a mudaf ilayh, what's the question we should ask it?
Is it jar?
Right. Is it jar? Well, it's an attached pronoun.
So no.
An attached pronoun
yeah.
can only be.
Nasab
Nasab
or
or
jar.
jar.
So could it be?
Yes.
And what did we say about could it be?
It has to be.
It has to be.
Mudaf before it.
Mudaf
Right. So that would mean that the kitabu part is mudaf
Mudaf.
and the ka part is
Mudaf ilayh.
mudaf ilayh because they both meet the conditions, right?
Mhm.
Now, what's the definition of mudaf? The word before the of.
Book of.
Book of.
What's the definition of mudaf ilayh? The
You,
word
no,
book of you,
Book of you.
which means book of yours,
Oh yeah, book of
which
yours.
means simple English. What's another way of saying book of yours?
My book.
My no.
Book of yours.
This is your
Oh.
book.
This is
Your,
book.
not
Or
this.
Your book.
Your book.
Oh, your book. Yeah.
This is how you say your book. Kitabuka, your book.
Kitabuka.
Okay. Now let me give you the shortcut. This was the long explanation. I'm going to give you the long explanation again. I'll give you a different example and give you this explanation again. Or instead of, because we've been doing who a while, let's do Rabbuna. Okay. How many words do you see?
Two.
Rabbu and?
Nah.
No.
Okay. The na came from what you memorized today.
Yeah.
What does it, is this the original version? Is this the independent version? Or is this the attached version?
Attached.
Okay, what is this the attached version of?
Nahnu.
Na. Nahnu.
When you see an attached version, what could be the status?
Nasab
No,
or jar.
nasab or jar.
Good. The na could be, from what you know, nasab or jar. We're in agreement so far?
Yeah.
Okay. The first word, does it look like a mudaf?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
no al,
Yeah.
right? The second word, could it be jar?
Yes.
Yeah, that means that this is a mudaf and a.
Mudaf ilayh.
Okay, now when you have a mudaf and mudaf ilayh, you put of in between.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Rabb means master, and na is the attached version of what word again? I forgot.
You.
You.
No.
No.
We.
We.
Master of we.
Is that English? Master of we?
No.
No.
Master of what?
Master of us.
Master of hours.
Oh, hours.
Master
Yeah.
of
What's an easier way to say that in English? Master of hours.
Master of hours.
What's an easier way to say that?
Oh.
Normal way of saying that.
Our Lord.
Our master.
Our
Our-
master. Oh yeah.
Simple. Our
Master.
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 This is a mudaf and a mudaf ilayh, and the meaning would be our
master.
master. Okay. Now, here's the rule. Here's the shortcut. I did all this like it's the attached version. It could be nasab or jar. Look at the first word, and then blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Right? Now we tie it all together.
Yeah.
We say bina,
Bina.
we say innana,
Innana.
and we say rabbuna. I'm going to give you 3 examples. Do they all have na in them?
Yes.
Okay. This one has na in it. This one has na in it. And this one has na in it. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this first one has a harf of jar.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
clear?
Yes.
The second one is a harf of nasab. Is that clear?
Yes.
This third one has an ism.
Mhm.
Rabb is an ism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person, place, thing, idea, adjective, adverb, or more. Ism.
Yeah.
So the na was attached to a harf of jar.
Mhm.
The na was attached to a harf of nasab.
Mhm.
And the na was attached to an
Ism.
ism. We know 3 possibilities of where we can find it attached so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. What do you know about na? It's attached, right?
Yeah.
So what could the answer be to its status?
Status. It's a.
Let me put this in a table so this becomes even clearer. I think I removed the table tab. I'll bring it back later. Let's do bina.
Bina. Or,
The na could be nasab or jar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know for sure which one it is right now.
Mhm.
Which one is it right now?
It's jar
Definitely
Yeah.
jar. Why?
because of the B.
And what will I call this thing that I see right now?
Jar majrur.
Excellent. I'm going to call it jar majroor.
Jar.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Oh.
So bina is jar majroor. You clear about that?
Mhm.
Okay. Then I said innana.
Innana.
That was the second one,
Yeah.
right? And I colored the na because it's the attached pronoun. And I remind myself again, the na could be nasab or jar, right?
Mhm.
But in this case, what is it attached to?
Nasab.
Or it's a.
It's a harf of nasab.
Yeah.
So it's the ismu inna.
Ismu.
Ismu
Yeah.
inna.
So the na would be the ismu
Inna.
inna, and therefore the jar is gone.
Yeah.
Clear? It's still the same na and bina and inna na, but there's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the last one was rabbuna?
Rabbuna.
That was the third one,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Again, the same na. And the na we already said over and over again. Could be nasab or
Jar.
Yeah.
nasab or jar. But I went through this exercise and said rabbu looks like a mudaf.
Yeah.
And this looks like a mudaf ilayh. Therefore, the nasab is gone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it becomes just jar.
So this one will be called a mudaf and it won't be called jar majroor.
Yeah,
No.
mudaf and mudaf ilayh.
It will be called mudaf and mudaf ilayh.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back. Bina,
Yeah.
innana, and rabbuna, right?
Mhm.
This one is jar majroor.
Yes.
This one is inna and ismu inna.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one is mudaf and mudaf ilayh. You got it?
Mhm.
Now let me tell you something about this last one, the mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Whenever you have an ism, anytime in Arabic you have an ism
Mhm.
and you have a pronoun,
Mhm.
ism and an attached pronoun.
Mhm.
Is this an ism and an attached pronoun?
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the whole process. You can just say it's definitely 1,000,000% mudaf and mudaf ilayh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if it has an ism.
Ism and pronoun, mudaf mudaf ilayh. Done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay?
Yeah.
Ism and pronoun, mudaf mudaf ilayh.
Mhm.
Ashhadu anna Muhammadan
Abdahu.
abduhu.
Abduhu.
Is abd means slave? Is that a person?
Yeah.
No.
A slave is not a person?
It is a person.
Is it?
We are Allah's slaves. Are we persons?
Yes.
Okay, so is this a slave a person?
Yeah.
So it's an ism because a person is an ism.
Yeah.
Is this an attached pronoun? Who?
Yes.
That's a mudaf mudaf ilayh.
Plus.
Which means that pronoun can only be jar
Jar.
because a mudaf ilayh can only be.
Jar.
Don't forget, this sound does not make it rafa. Why not? Because pronouns be crazy.
They crack.
You don't tell if they're rafa nasab or jar by the way they sound. The only way to tell them rafa nasab or jar is how they are, meaning are they independent or are they attached?
Mhm.
Now we saw 3 kinds of attachments. We attach them to the harf of jar, bika. We attach them to a harf of nasab, innaka. And we attach them to an ism, kitabuka, or masjiduka. Masjid is an ism, it's a place, right?
Yes.
Masjiduka.
Yeah.
Or ustaduka.
That's a
Or,
person.
yeah, ustad is a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So, bika, this is jar majroor.
Mhm.
This is inna and ismu inna.
Yeah.
And this one is what? Mudaf and
Mudaf ilayh.
mudaf ilayh. So then of goes in between them. You know what masjid means? You know what ka means? What's an easy translation of masjiduka?
Masjid of
Ka.
Masjid of him.
No,
Masjid
not
of
him. It's
no.
not him.
No, masjid
Him
of
would be
you.
huwa, right?
Yeah.
So
So that would be who? Masjidu
masjid of
who?
you.
No,
Is that good English? Masjid of you?
Your masjid.
Yeah, your masjid.
Yeah.
Your masjid. Inna means for sure.
Yeah.
Innaka means for sure you.
For sure you.
B means with. Bika means what?
With you.
With you.
Oh, with you.
She said,
With you.
Big with you.
Big with you. So 3 situations. It's attached to a harf of jar, it's attached to a harf of nasab, or it's attached to an ism. When it's attached to an ism, 1,000,000%, it's a
Done deal.
mudaf and a mudaf ilayh.
Today.
It's a mudaf and mudaf. The ism part is the mudaf, and the pronoun part is the mudaf ilayh. I'll take questions for the last 5 minutes. Chwad? Oh, you're muted.
I'm still looking for questions.
Okay.
This is like my brain juice. I don't even know how to do school now. I'm dry. Like
This is cool.
no, like other school.
How do you say fee with? What does it say?
How do you say fee with? Oh no, there's too many messages.
How do you say fee with
Ana.
With ana? Oh, so ana is I, and the attached version is ni or e, right? And then fee, if you want to attach it, you attach the jar version,
Yeah.
which is another ya, so it becomes fiya.
Yeah.
But
Can
that's
I actually, like,
you
say
know, yeah, you can say fiya, yeah,
What is that? Fia
in me,
and me. Oh.
yeah. There's 2 yas. It's a weird example, but it'll happen rarely.
Want to thank you, sir.
Somebody asked in masjiduka, why is masjid rafa'?
Oh, I doesn't matter. I chose to make it rafa here, masjiduka. But if masjid, I keep missing the dal. Masjiduka, and I'll repeat that. I'll copy that over. Masjidaka, and I'll make this one masjidaka. That's a really good question and good review for you too. So let's end with this question. Everybody pay full attention to this question and forget about your question. Your question now became less important. This question became more important because this will benefit each of you. Okay, so please listen carefully. I'm writing 3 versions right now. Masjiduka, masjidaka, and masjidika, right?
Mhm.
The ka is still the same.
Yeah.
Masjid still meets my conditions for mudaf in all cases. It's always got light no alif lam, light no alif lam, light no alif lam. So they're all mudaf ilayh every time, right? And the ka is a mudaf ilayh, so the ka is the attached pronoun that's jar, jar, and jar, which means the translation is your masjid, and your masjid. It's the same translation. So then what's the point of making it masjiduka versus masjidaka versus masjidika? Listen to this. Your masjid offered a new program. Okay.
Okay.
I visited your masjid. The color of your masjid is white. 3 sentences, right? Okay. Now think about the English. What's the fi'l
The fat one.
in the first one?
Offered.
Good. Who's doing it?
The masjid.
Your or
Your-
I.
Am I offering
No,
in the first
masjid.
sentence?
Masjid is
Who's
doing-
offering?
the
Who's doing the
masjid.
act of offering?
Masjid.
Oh, the masjid.
Masjid's offer.
Yeah.
The masjid offered a new program. So masjid must be rafa.
Yeah.
Then I would say masjiduka, because you have to make it rafa because it's doing the offering.
Yeah.
I visited your masjid. Who's doing the act of visiting?
I.
Where am I? What am I visiting?
Masjid.
Masjid is a detail.
Oh, your masjid.
Your masjid is a detail, isn't
So
it?
that's nasab.
So that one, the masjid will have to be nasab, masjidaka.
Masjidaka. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The color of
Oh, that's
your
harf.
masjid.
Yeah.
Of, after of. Whatever's after of has to be what?
Harf.
No, whatever's after of has to be jar.
Jar. Oh, yeah.
So I'd have to say masjidika
Oh,
because it's after of. This one would be red. Masjid offered. That's why the status changes. It could be the doer, it could be the detail, or it could be after of. The mudaf will change. The mudaf ilay will stay jar all the time, but the mudaf could be rafa or nasab or jar as needed. Depends on what somebody's saying. When Allah wants to make the mudaf rafa, He will make it rafa. When He wants to make it nasab, He will make it nasab. When He wants to make it jar, He will make it jar, depending on what's being said. Okay? Jawad, any other relevant questions before I call it a day?
Can we have an idafa with an independent pronoun?
No, you can never have an idafa with an independent pronoun. What did you say?
When are we gonna like open up a mushaf and like read?
When are we going to open up a mushaf and read? After tomorrow.
After. Okay.
Yeah.
So day 8.
Well, no, tomorrow's day 7 already?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What am I going to do, fi'il, man?
Day 6?
So it's already day 6. We're 2 days behind now.
Wow.
2 days behind what I usually teach. But again, I'm not rushing this. It's all good with me. I'm good.
It's all good, homie.
It is absolutely good. I might even teach an extra day or two and change up the schedule a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to finish all the material, but I don't want to rush through all the material. So I think tomorrow we can finish up all of Ism comfortably. So that'll be day 7 finishing Ism. And I do need at least 3 days for fi'l, at least. So that would be 8, 9, and 10. So we could still probably finish on time. Actually, it's a 9-day course. I call it 10-day to give myself an extra day.
Okay.
But I think we should be able to finish comfortably. If not, maybe we'll add an extra day. But I won't make that call yet. Any other questions? So yeah, independent pronouns can never be part of a mudaf ilayh. That's never going to happen.
Are attached pronouns proper, or is it only independent pronouns?
All pronouns are proper. Good question.
For ism,
doesn't matter.
for harf nasab and its ism, can that long distance relationship go past the ayah, or will it always be contained in an ayah?
To my knowledge, I can't think of an example where it's outside the ayah. It's possible, but I can't think of an example where it's outside the ayah. No. It's usually very coherent and easy to understand.
So what transcript do you want us to read? Day 5?
I want you to read up to day 5, yeah.
Okay.
I want you to read up to day 5, and I want you to really just master page 18. That's all I need for tomorrow. And then we can finish up Ism tomorrow, inshallah. Not too much work left with Ism. And then fi'l is like party time. Fi'l is like,
Easy peasy.
oh my God, not even lemon squeeze. Lemon squeeze is too hard for fi'l. Fi'l is like
Easy.
nothing. And when you conquer Ism, fi'l is like, what? What is this? This is a joke. Fi'l.
Yeah.
It's like that. Okay, but Ism is the real work. And what you're doing by tomorrow is actually quite a bit of work. It's quite a bit of work. So just, put your head down, focus on the day's work. Don't worry about review and I need to remember everything. You don't need to remember everything. It's okay. When we do a review, it's all going to come back. Right now, you just need to understand it, even if it's not solidified and you can recall it like I recall it, right? I've been teaching it many years, so I can recall it. Jawad's graduated from the program, so he can recall it. But for you to be able to recall it so easily is not going to happen right now, but it will. It will. And I have this program. Let me tell you just a few things. It'll take 60 seconds. My goal is, I keep saying my goal is to take my time and take my time and take my time. Let me tell you, my goal is these 2 kids are going to, in a sense, determine the pace of the program along with you. So if I feel like they need more time on something and your questions tell me that you need more time on something, then I'll slow it down and take more time on something. That's just what we're going to do, right? So I'm not in a rush to finish the book or be done by next Ramadan or whatever. My goal is to kind of do a before and after with these two, zoo animals that I have over here, right? The before and after is the first day they're in a certain place, and how far can we get them at the end of the dream curriculum, at the end of the teaching and the reading curriculum? How far can we take them? And then inshallah ta'ala, then we'll start Quran studies. And my goal eventually, you guys know that I do tafsir lectures, right? Then I'm going to start using these kids to actually read tafsirs. And so you're going to read this tafsir, you're going to read this. A day will come when these kids, not too far in the future, they're going to read the tafsir and they're going to summarize what Ibn Kathir rahimahullah said about this ayah for me. Or this one, I'll give them two different tafsirs to read up on, and they're going to summarize it for me. Because I need TAs for my tafsir work too. And people to do some work, right? So I'm going to turn them into henchmen. Arabic studies and Quran studies henchmen and women, right? And I'll film all of that. I want to film all of that so you guys see their progress. The other cool thing that I think is really cool that's on the horizon once the schedule tapers down after the intensives is I plan on taking some courses myself in Arabic to further my own Arabic studies and my own Quran studies, and I'm going to film those too. So you're going to see me not only as a teacher, but you're also going to see me struggling as a student, because at the end of the day, we're all students. So inshallah, with that, I conclude for today. All the best to you with your pronouns. Do a lot of dhikr of them, and if you're having a hard time remembering them, do dhikr of Allah. Allah will make that easy for you. Huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antum antum, anti antum antunna, ana nahnu. Huwa becomes hu, huma is huma, hum is hum, hiya is ha, huma is huma, hunna is hunna, anta is ka, antuma kuma, antum kum, anti ki, antuma kuma, antunna kunna, ana is near e, nahnu is na. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Barakallahu wa lakum fil Quran al-Hakim.
Closer. Barakallahu li wa lakum.
Barakallahu li fil
Wa lakum.